Tristan did with Britt.
So
That yeah, the delay. Gonna have to get used to that. Like, look, they just fist bumped. Oh, that's us.
no gestures.
Yeah, no gesture.
My problem is I usually sit like this, and
Yeah, it's gonna throws you off. It's worse when you're hearing yourself. That would just throw you off your out of your mind to say something and then hear it back in 2 minutes. But seeing yourself is definitely weird too. It does look a little strange. It may be. Okay.
as Popeye said, I am what I am.
Yeah, I think so.
We're in Chicago here for the first time, new venue.
Place is absolutely beautiful. We're in this gorgeous park right here on the water. Couldn't be happier. Can't wait to get the boats out there.
Chicago's exciting because it hasn't been done in so long.
First time I think this race has been here in about 15 years.
Being a huge sports town, you know, the legacy with everybody.
We grew up watching Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Jordan!
I feel like offshore boat racing now is far superior than what the NBA has to offer. All together coming to this new venue, and it's kind of cool to have a big city in the background and something different.
We're racing on fresh water. Fresh water is not as forgiving as salt water. It's harder.
It can just pick you up and drop you like a hot potato.
This is a crazy lake. It's huge, it's deep, it's cold, and a lot of boats have gone down here.
I stand alone, can't get much higher. It's in my bones, a true survivor.
What a better place to win in a city like this and possibly stamp our names with some of the greats.
The wait's over. Time to go racing. Chicago Grand Prix presented by X Insurance.
And now from Chicago, the X Insurance Grand Prix, the Nationals right here, Race World Offshore, the World Powerboat Race Association bring racing back to the Windy City. It's been about 15 years. First time I was in Chicago in 1992 up at North Point. There was racing, but now coming back right into the heart of the city, just north of Navy Pier at Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park. And today the world are going to see some of the fastest powerboats here in Lake Michigan. Todd Swafford along with Eric Colby. Eric, this is a big time event with some fast powerboats are going to race here on Lake Michigan in front of the fans of Chicago. It's a great sports town.
Yeah, I can't think of a better way to spend Labor Day weekend in the Windy City. I'm in my happy place because I'm at a boat race, so I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys run.
And this is quite a spot for powerboat racing. And a nice basin here around the Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park. A huge seawall where fans can line up on Lake Michigan overlooking the downtown and watch the races.
Oh, it's like an amphitheater looking over our shoulders here. I mean, the water's wide open. We've got great conditions today. It doesn't look like it's going to get windy. So I think the conditions are going to be outstanding.
Yeah, it's amazing weather here. We're just 5 weeks removed from Michigan City, Indiana, where it was similar weather, low relative humidity, a little bit more breeze than we had in Michigan City. It was coming in off the north. Today we're looking at about an east wind, which is running along the course. It's an east-west course here off of Montrose. winds east at 5 miles an hour. Temperature as we went on the air was building up from 70 degrees. It was about 65 degrees this morning. In fact, we've been running around, you know, in long sleeves and jackets quite a bit, especially for a lot of us from Race World who are from Key West. But the weather's been perfect.
Yeah, you can't complain about that. I mean, people will get their dose of heat when we go back to Clearwater at the end of September. But for this weekend, let's enjoy the 70 degrees and nice fall weather here in Chicago.
We got some great shots of the course provided by X Sports that is here producing this live stream for you, and out on YouTube at the X Sports channel and also the Race World Offshore channel, as well at Race World Offshore's Facebook page. We'll be back here tomorrow. Today we're going to open with qualifying, and the Pro Class 1 boats will open up. And then later today, we'll have a Supercat race of 6 laps, and then the Pro Class 1 boats will go get out of be taken out of the water, craned out of the water. They'll refuel, and they'll race a 6-lap race. Then all of our bracketed boats that are here, as well as a couple of other boats in national classes, will race during these events. So we'll have 3 races today, and we'll come back with more racing tomorrow. But qualifying is going to open up here with the Pro Class 1 boats that are here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real treat for the fans who are going to be here to see Pro Class 1 and Supercat run both days. That's not something you always get on a weekend. So to see the fastest boats in the sport run Saturday and Sunday, and that's how we're going to determine, from what I understand, a cumulative winner for both days, then these conditions couldn't be better for how these guys want to run.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm looking forward to, is just seeing them fly across the top of it.
They're going to run more laps tomorrow, but it's going to be equal points for each day, and they'll combine those points to determine the overall winner of the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. 2 races left in the National Series before the teams head to Key West for the Race World Offshore World Championships the first week of November. You know, speaking of the Pro Class 1 teams that are here, in just a few moments we'll be hearing from Britt Lilly, who was down in the pits talking to Tristan Garvin a little bit earlier. The X Insurance South boat, which he teams up with Bill Pyburn, they set the water on fire in Michigan City.
Yes, they did, and they served notice that they're here to play serious now in Pro Class 1. They were a good team, and they're still a great team in Supercat, but now they're contending in both classes, so they're going to be a duo to watch all weekend.
Yeah, they set the fastest lap in Michigan City and won both days there.
Yep. Yeah, that victory hall, they've got it figured out with the team down at the Dirty Money Shop, and Bobby Adams and TJ Rand and all the crew have been busting their tails to get 2 boats ready to go, and to make them run up front is no small feat.
Well, Tristan Garvin caught up with Britt Lilly down in the pits, and we'll be doing pit reports with the X Insurance sports team throughout, but Tristan did catch up with Britt Lilly just earlier this morning.
So this is the business end
Yeah, it's
of
probably one
these
of the
awesome
most important
machines.
things we have.
2200 horsepower. You can have multiple different setups.
Sets of
We
props
choose
with
the
us.
Mercury
These
6
3 cabinets are all
static
full.
drive. They do not
propellers.
move.
Basically on
we
this
have a
end of the
rudder.
case,
This is how
we
you
start
steer
with
the
bigger
boat.
pitch,
This is our
which would
basically
be
our
like a
rudder.
higher
This is
gear
made
to
by
run
Latham,
faster. So
and it's a
we
full
go from the
system.
bottom up,
There's
and
actuator arms on the
we
left and
change
right,
diameters,
hydraulic steering.
which
So as you
either
steer the
changes
boat
lift of
to
boat,
the
small
right,
diameter, set it down on its rear end, a bigger picks the back end up, so it lets it run flatter, or vice versa, carry the nose. Most of these props are done at half pitches, so we can fine tune basically on 100 RPMs, where a full prop change pitch is about 200 plus RPMs. This case right here is basically full of a mixture of Mercury and Herrings. Those are the 2 brands we all run in the offshore racing. We can pull one out, and this is a Herring. They look like a piece of jewelry after they get finished and sent to us. Very sharp edges. This prop's a higher rake prop. It's an 18 degree, 16.5 diameter. Basically a typical setup we'd run on the Supercat on a normal flat water day. As it gets rougher, we go to a lower rake prop, which acts almost like trim. So as you go down on the rake, it lays the nose over. So instead of us having to trim the boat as hard, this prop will automatically put the nose over, make the boat run flatter. So as you get in big water, it's going to try to fly flat all the time. This prop's going to carry the nose, which in big water, you don't want to be doing this the whole time. Yeah, so the pricing on these, the herrings, they're around $16,500 a set, and the mercuries are around $12,000 a set. So a little difference in price, but a little difference in material that they use, and but both great props.
So this is the business end of these awesome machines. 2,200 horsepower, you can have multiple different setups. We choose the Mercury 6 static drive. They do not move because we have a rudder. This is how you steer the boat. This is basically our rudder. This is made by Latham, and it's a full system. There's actuator arms on the left and right, it's hydraulic steering. So as you steer the boat to the right, the rudder moves to the right, steer to the left, the rudder moves to the left. Pretty simple, but a lot of technology goes into just making this big hunk of metal. It's been shaved, tuned, and it's very, very sharp. The height of this rudder, depending upon the running surface of the boat, the height will determine how much bite we actually have when we go in with our prop selection. So if we needed to drag and dig a little bit, we'll drop it down. If we got some smooth water, we can bring it up and actually make it run a little bit faster.
They ought to be. Just come to me if you need to, and we'll talk. Give me a 5-second count. All right, we're back here, Todd and Eric, as we get ready for the Pro Class 1 teams to start qualifying here. Again, you're watching the X Insurance Chicago Nationals, last of 2 national races for Race World Offshore as we get set for the Key West World Championships coming up. Let's talk about qualifying right now. The Pro Class 1 boats are going to come out. There are 4 teams here in Chicago. They're going to have 2 shots, Eric, at qualifying laps. And the fastest speeds will determine the starting grid for later on today.
Yeah, what they said this morning in the driver's meetings was that as soon as they get a hold on the course, they want them to run a lap or 2. Then they'll slow them down, and then they'll send them officially one at a time around this. I think it's a 4.7-mile course. 4.7. Counterclockwise. And fastest lap will determine who gets on the pole position for the inside lane. And for the last couple races this year, that's made the difference. Whoever had that pole position at the start used that to their advantage.
So counterclockwise course, as you mentioned, and that's that's similar to Key West, and actually the starting procedure for this 4.7-mile course will have the boats milling around on the far south turn number 5. There's 5 pins. There's 3 pins on the east end. It's roughly it's a wide sweeping turn on the east side. And then the boats come back down towards the shoreline in front of the beach here at Montrose, and then down towards Lakeshore Boulevard here on the shoreline, Lake Michigan in Chicago. Turn to the south, a 90-degree turn at the number 4 over to number 5 on the southbound leg, and then on that outbound leg all the way out. 4.7-mile course. Again, this is qualifying laps, so you'll see the boats come out. Here momentarily, we heard that there was a holdup at the cranes, and they'll do probably a couple of warm-up laps, then they'll get themselves set up for the qualifying laps. As we see some of the boats coming out of the basin right now, out of the wet pit area, the Pro Class 1 teams here. So if you
want to do the lineup?
Yeah, let's talk about the boats that are here racing in Pro Class 1.
Okay, number 3, X Insurance South is Britt Lilly driving and Bill Pyburn. throttling. It's a 47-foot Victory. Number 6, Monster Energy, 43 Skater. Owner Tyler Miller is throttling. Myrick Boyle is driving. Number 11, X Insurance North. J.J. Turk is driving. He's out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. Nick Buis from St. Pete. And 32 GC Racing /MTI, Willie Cabeza from Pinecrest, Florida, is driving. He owns the boat. Grant Bruggeman, Sarasota, Florida. Grant's Custom Rigging is on the throttles.
Okay, we're going to go to a video now from the pits with Dirty Money.
Not yet.
Okay, there they are.
Parker. Oh my God.
Wow. Go.
In here, I'm with the Dirty Money / X Insurance team. You guys are supposed to be out on the course right now, testing, qualifying.
I just saw all the boats pull out.
What's going on?
Unfortunately, in testing, it's pretty gnarly out there. So caught a little wave, snapped a stud in the rudder box. So rudder's loose. It's unsafe to run the boat like that. Guys are thrashing back here behind me, getting it all back together. We're gonna miss qualifying, but we can make it happen from the outside. So we'll be back in the water shortly, and we'll be starting in lane 5, I guess.
Hey, I mean, really, it looks like everybody's getting everything back together. You guys should be...
It won't be long.
Well, good luck. We'll see you out there.
All right. Yeah, tough luck there for the X Insurance South guys. Yeah, the Dirty Money team.
You never like to hurt a propeller, especially if it's one of your favorites. They don't grow on trees.
No doubt about it. So for our fans here in Chicago, of course, we've got great coverage from the local television channels, and you may be just tuning in for the first time to offshore powerboat racing. Of course, our fans globally to watch us, you know these boats so well. But the Pro Class 1 boats that we're going to be watching for qualifying are these are big catamaran hulls. It's 2 sponsons with a wing between them. They compress air between the sponsons down the tunnel to get extra lift. And these catamarans are anywhere from 40 to 47 foot canopied boats, but they run spec engines. They all have the same engine in them. You won't find that in all classes of powerboat racing, but in Pro Class 1, everyone runs the quad cam 4-valve turbocharged Mercury racing engine, the spec engine for Pro Class 1 racing.
Yeah, you do have some differences in drives. You can run the M6, which a couple of the teams do, or you can run the BPM surface drives. There's been some rule changes that were made this year in terms of the number of props that you can have given the drive system. And then the BPMs, you can do an easier gear ratio change than you can with a number 6 Mercury. So there's pros and cons of each.
The number 6 boats can run a tunnel tab, and so folks that are used to watching the Formula 1 series and DRS, as you can use when you're trailing a car by a mile per hour, you get an advantage maybe on a pass. That's about as close as you're going to get to anything in auto racing here. They can use the tunnel tabs, and only the number 6 drives boats in Pro Class 1 can use those tunnel tabs. Talk about that.
Yeah, because if you have a rudder in the middle of your boat between the drives, you can't have a tunnel tab there. That's where the rudder goes.
Watch the Monster Energy boat that will deploy that tunnel tab with the number 6 drives. This is a 438 skater. We have skaters, Victory hulls, and marine technology hulls racing here today in Pro Class 1. A couple of warm-up laps for the Pro Class 1 boats before they go out on their qualifying lap here. These boats can top 130 miles an hour in great water. Here it's a little bit bumpy out there today.
Yeah, I think that's just how much there was.
X Insurance North team with J.J. Turk and Buis.
And they're in an interesting situation because they're a number 6, but the number 6's drives are fixed with the skegs cut off, and they still have the rudder, so they cannot use the tunnel tab on that boat.
X Insurance with several teams that were represented here, not only in Pro Class 1, but up and down the ranks that we'll see over the next 2 days.
And Nick and JJ just broke the dam-to-dam record in a different X-Insurance boat, covering, I think it was like 190 miles in an hour and 17 minutes. So they averaged like 150 miles an hour. That's got to be pretty fun.
Yeah, well, it was kind of fun listening to JJ tell that story this morning. Yeah. It really was. So interesting. As we take a look at that, the MTI hull of X-Insurance North heading off. Again, these boats will be doing 2 runs. They'll take their fastest lap. These are our warm-up laps right now. And it looks like we'll only have 3 boats qualifying here this afternoon.
Was that yesterday? Like, how did you not run Walmart? Like, I could go into Walmart for some time.
Yeah, did so the X-Insurance South, did it
When
take
you
them
see
out?
me pointed down at the water
It's a
at the back of the
possibility.
boat,
I mean,
obviously,
it's really tough. You know, it's tough in these situations. You got to set these boats up for speed.
Right. And then come back in an hour and have them set up for competition for
Correct.
racing.
So it sounded to me like Britt said that they might be resigned to taking the outside leg. They're working on their issues, and if they have time, they will try and get back on the water, is what we're hearing. So X-Insurance South working through some issues. We talked about their outstanding performance in Michigan City, and that's definitely a setback for them heading into today's qualifying.
Well, the nice thing about this course and only having 4 boats is they'd only be in lane 4, so they wouldn't be way outside at the start. And
yeah, and you're definitely going to get a chance to spread out if you have seen the course, and you can find it at raceworldoffshore.com on maps. There's a long run on the outbound leg there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they'll be able to just hold it wide open and just play with the trim to try to find the best setup. As we see the boats coming down the backs, this is the front leg coming just off the seawall. So if they get too close to the seawall compared to those buoys, they're going to get some rebound waves that they might not be looking for.
amazing shots of the Chicago skyline here. Another look at that's Imcon, Tyler
Monster
Miller,
Energy,
and Myrick Coyle, a skater.
That started life as a rudder with surface drives, and they had so much experience running a 388 skater with the number 6s, 3-time national champions. They just liked the way the boat handled, and they said, you know what, let's switch it over. No small engineering feat, but skater pulled it off for him, Douglas Marine up in Douglas, Michigan.
Yeah, in the off season, pretty impressive that between the end of the season, start of the next, they were able to get that work done to the transom of the boat.
Well, where there's a will and a budget, there's a way.
Yeah. And if you're good friends with Peter Ledden, as Tyler Miller is,
yep,
the loyal customer of Skater Powerboats.
And even though we don't see X-Insurance South out here, we would like to say happy birthday to Britt's daughter, Stella Rogue, who celebrated her birthday a couple weeks ago. Always loved the family element of the sport.
Yeah,
so.
always so great to see Stella's smiling face.
And Britt's father was just honored with the Art Lilly Memorial Poker Run that raised money for Alzheimer's down in Maryland. I think it was last weekend or maybe 2 weekends ago, but a good turnout for the first annual event. And I'm sure more people will go to that in the future. Okay, X-Insurance has had a rudder issue with the X-Insurance South, the number 3 boat. So they likely will not be out for qualifying, but they are trying to rectify that to be able to run later today in Pro Class 1.
And back to the original point, I mean, there's about a 2-mile run. So if they get those boats up and get them started properly, and they're running, into the rougher part of the course, starting at the outside might not be your complete deficit here.
No, it's the longer way around, but if you can hold your speed and hold your momentum, especially through that more of the sweeping turn, which is 1 through 3, you can hold speed there pretty well.
Right on the east end, we see for the first time in the background there briefly the 482 Marine Technologies hull,
the black and fuchsia.
This is also an MTI.
Yeah.
an older MTI.
Yeah,
They raced in Abu Dhabi for years, and that's where John Tomlinson and Gary Ballou raced it to a world championship. And Randy Sissom came up with that brilliant configuration you talked about, with John Tomlinson to mix the number 6 with the rudder.
Right.
And there we see Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggeman's.
Looks like they might be going first.
Yeah, they didn't do a warm-up lap. They looked good earlier when they were doing their practice runs. The MTI all did.
Yeah, and we know that Randy Sissom, the founder and owner of MTI, is here and in support of his team. So always good to see him on site at the races.
Monster Energy came into Pro Class 1 racing. The GC Racing team looks like
they're on the clock.
They're on the clock. Not on your screen right now, but
right.
They're going to take the first qualifying lap. GC Racing Marine Technologies. We're in Chicago, the X-Insurance Chicago Nationals. There we go.
Here we go.
We get a wide shot. Now they're heading on the outbound leg towards turn 1, 2, and 3, the wide sweeping east end turn.
So they're going away from the city, basically.
Correct. Out into the open part of the lake. Probably about 3/4 of this course is out past the shoreline. The inside of the course, the west end, is protected by Montrose Beach, Lincoln Park. Into a cove, lots of marinas dotting the shoreline here in Chicago.
Yes, this is a boating mecca. Lots of sailors here. The Chicago to Mackinac Island race is one of the more famous sailboat races here. This looks like Monster running on the course now, and you can see them getting a little bit of air, so it's not flat, but it's doable. The boat is spanning the waves well. Tyler's in control, working the throttles, working that tunnel tab. They just raced an airplane last weekend in Lake of the Ozarks at the shootout, and
that's an important nuance to those maybe watching for the first time. You have 2 pilots on board, one controlling the wheel, the steering wheel, and the other controlling the trim and the throttles.
Yeah, because every time that boat comes out of the water, you want to pull back a little bit on the throttles so you don't over-rev the engines. Here's the MTI GC Racing, and Grant Bruggeman is handling the throttles and the attitude of the boat. They control, with using different mechanisms, how the boat flies, how it goes across the top of the water, and the goal is to have it level and have that rooster tail coming out as flat as it can rather than going up. But that's a good attitude for that boat.
Classic Marine Technologies livery, well done, matches their factory stock boat, which we'll see racing tomorrow here. And now the Monster Energy team approaching their qualifying lap from the X-Insurance Helicam.
And as soon as we have the numbers, we'll let you know, so you'll know what the qualifying lanes are for the first race this afternoon. Sometimes it's nice to just let the people hear the roar.
Nothing like the sound of these engines. This is the Maximum Inflation live stream, our presenting sponsor. New Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kits by Maximum Inflation, the only U.S.-made valve that uses CO2 cartridges for your side-by-side motorcycle or ATV. Your machine got you there. The Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit gets you home. Qualifying here in Pro Class 1, the X-Insurance Chicago Nationals. Race World Offshore doing a magnificent job putting on this event. What an undertaking in the city of this size, and the cooperation received throughout the city has been much appreciated. Expecting huge crowds this weekend here at Lincoln Park to see powerboat racing for the first time in about 15 years. We go overhead again from the X Insurance Helicam. GC Racing out of Miami, Florida.
That's one of the bigger boats in the class. It's 48 feet.
Yes.
But its profile makes it look so sleek. You're a little deceived until you see it up close in the pits. So if you want to come down and see it, that's one of the great things about this sport. You can walk through the pits and see the boats up close. You can meet the drivers. You can meet the owners. It's got an NHRA feel to it more than, say, a NASCAR or IndyCar. It's that open.
X Insurance North's getting ready to start its qualifying lap, so all three boats should be out on their qualifying runs here in just moments. This should end GC Racing's qualifying lap, so you can see us in the background there. There's the shoreline, gives you a really good idea of the spectator area to watch from here at Lincoln Park, Montrose Beach. If you head back in towards Lakeshore Boulevard, Lakeshore Drive, there it is, GC Racing, their two qualifying laps. Grant and Willie, way to go.
Yeah, we'll probably head back in now, go to get in line for the crane.
Yeah, so now they'll get the boats on the crane. They can put more fuel in them because they wanted to run light in their qualifying lap, and they'll race after Supercat coming up next. Looks like Monster Energy, Tyler and Myrick will be wrapping up their qualifying lap here.
We may have been a little early in our discussions. That may have been their warm-up laps.
Okay.
And JW was just saying that they're going to now get ready to qualify.
Was that their warm-ups? Okay. So we'll get another couple of laps to see them run. They went for warm-up laps. They went at it pretty hard.
Yeah,
I thought.
I'd say the engines are warm.
Yeah, I'd truly say so. Now, it definitely looks like Monster Energy. Yeah, Monster Energy finished up their two runs. Todd and Eric here with you. X Sports YouTube channel, Race World Offshore's YouTube channel, as well as Race World Offshore's Facebook page. From the Porte Products Broadcast Center, Porte Products builds the ultimate outboard transom lift system, boasting horsepower capacities up to 1,000 horsepower per engine and carrying up to 1,500 pounds of weight per engine. Let them build one for you at PorteProducts.com. X Insurance North.
Now you think about this team in this boat. Nick Buis has been at this for a while, founded Statement Marine, builds boats, but J.J. Turk in 3 years went from an open cockpit bracket 500 boat to his first enclosed boat in a Mod V, and then the curve went straight up, and he's now in a Class 1 boat driving a catamaran for the first time and doing a darn good job. So hats off to him for the dedication he's shown to the sport.
Yeah, and the fast track to being fast. I mean,
yeah, I mean, he just got to drive 150 miles an hour on Lake of the Ozarks in a turbine-powered catamaran. So he's living his best life, I'd say.
There we see the X helicopter and the X North in frame here in Chicago, qualifying for Pro Class 1. These big boats can get up on top of the waves.
Yeah, they'll span it pretty well. This isn't going to bother them. That boat's got a nice attitude right now. There's, obviously the less boat in the water you have, the less resistance, and the faster you're going to go. So Nick's just finding that sweet spot between control and no control and having the boat do what they want.
GC Racing qualifying. Trying to get a qualifying time. MCON's was 2:53.62. 2:53.62.
Okay. Be curious to see how that matches up.
are back to X Insurance North and their qualifying run. So it appears that GC Racing has not gone out on their qualifying lap yet.
Okay, so MCon was first and X Insurance North is second, and then GC Racing will be the final boat. Okay.
There's a little bit of a hole right there, it seems like. The boats, as they approach where the shoreline starts, they get a bit of a hop there, Eric.
Yeah, I've noticed that during testing this morning. A couple of boats, when they'd come off of the turn at the far end of the course coming towards us, there's a little bit of an area where the seawall kind of juts out, and then right when they get past that, there's a little bit of a hole. So they'll be aware of it for the next time they go out, or when they come and make their first lap on the second lap, they'll make a mental note. It's kind of like that trench in Key West Harbor coming into the harbor.
There you see the Chicago skyline.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The backdrop of Pro Class 1 racing here in the Windy City.
Think about what that boat went through in Key West a couple of years ago, and where it is now back up and running.
All right, we got a correction on that time. Was 2:51:23 for Monster Energy. 2:51:23. Immediately following qualifying here in Pro Class 1, our Supercat race will commence. 6 laps today, 12 laps tomorrow. 5 teams here in Chicago. As the X Insurance South team works on problems with their rudder, they're putting the Dirty Money Race team with Britt and Bill Pyburn in the water. The reigning world champion. CR Racing, Graydell Rolling Transport, EWB Racing will be out there today in Supercat. And Kelly Crace of EWB, he's a Chicago native.
Oh.
Yeah, making his hometown haunts when he was here this week. We'll talk about that later. As we look at X Insurance North, wrapping their qualifying lap. X Insurance North, 2:51:23. That's MCon. Okay. So, all right, so just getting these qualifying times correct. Monster Energy was 2:53:62, so my original comment was correct. X Insurance North with the best time at 2:51:23, and apparently GC Racing, when it did come through, and it did sure look like they were trying to qualify, 3 minutes and 0.58. So X Insurance North with the best qualifying time will have the inside line.
They've had a good couple of weeks between the dam to dam run and now being on pole for the Chicago Grand Prix. Congratulations to Nick and JJ.
So next it'll be
the
Supercats racing. So these Pro Class 1 boats will be coming out of the water.
Yeah, they have 2 cranes in the pits, and they lift them with straps. They cannot fuel these boats in the water, and then they'll drop them back in after the Supercats, and so you're getting to see the elite kind of the sport.
As you watch the boats head back in, you get a good look at the wet pits here. Get ready to go down to Tristan Garvin, who's down in the wet pits. Catching up with teams throughout the day here on our live stream from the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Following Supercat Racing, the Procat Class 1 boats will come back out and they'll run their 6 laps here today. Half points for today and tomorrow. They run 12 tomorrow, both Supercat and Pro Class 1. And then all of our bracketed boats, and there's a busy schedule coming up for that, the third race this afternoon, Eric.
Yeah, it could be it's always a good thing, a good show to watch with the 700 class boats.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You only need a couple, and it gets interesting real fast.
Yeah, we'll have a bracket class 2 and 4 and 5 and 7, Cat 300, and Mod V will be out there.
And Cat 300 is the next generation of Buis and Turk, with Owen Buis throttling and Cameron Turk driving the new Wicked 24 boat, and they're trying to, APBA is trying to get that, not APBA, WPRA, sorry about that, folks, is trying to get that class established for the a safer entry-level class for the sport, because it's a fully enclosed cockpit with a full safety restraint system, and you only need one outboard. So there's a lot of interest in the class and seeing it grow and seeing how the boats do. And
looks like we're about 5 minutes from the Supercat boats. We're hearing that from race control. Yeah, those boats, what they're calling an entry-level canopy class. Later we'll see class 700. I think many people would have thought that was the entry level up into this point, and still people are finding that to be the way to get in, but it's a completely different experience. It's a V-bottom class 700, and there's no canopy.
Yeah, the Blind River Bar boat, Cluwat Racing,
yes,
from down in Louisiana, is the former X Insurance Statement Marine Bracket 700 boat that won the World National Championships with Owen Buis throttling, and Ricky Harmeyer was driving. And that boat now lives in Louisiana, and it's a new team, and we welcome them here.
And they'll be doing battle with the Red Rum, which is the progression hull, and a boat that's been hard to beat this year, Dirt Legal, the Velocity team.
Yeah, that was built new last year for this class, and Connor Langheim and Brad Christopher have been doing a great job in the boat. If the Langheim name seems familiar, it's his father, Reese Langheim, is a multi-time champion in the super stock class, and recently stepped up to factory stock this year with the Manatee Marine Unlimited team and Throttleman Julian Maldonado.
As we wait for the Supercat boats to come out, again, just a recap that are qualifying in Pro Class 1 had the X Insurance, the X Insurance North team taking the fastest lap, followed by Monster Energy and GC Racing, MTI. Great shots of the city, Navy Pier, looking back along the Chicago skyline. By the way, replays of this live stream tonight will be played at Navy Pier, a big street party at the Beer Garden at the Chicago Icon.
Yeah, I think they run some of those big tour boats that look like giant offshore performance boats out of the Navy Pier. You can get on it, and the guys all of a sudden will be running it, and they'll yank the throttle back and get everybody wet.
So that'll be happening tonight, and welcome everyone to come down and mingle and watch some of the highlights. X Insurance Sports doing such a great job with the sizzle reels. Let's head down to the pits. Tristan Garvin is standing by with another report for us. right. All right. Sorry for those audio issues, but the guys are getting ready to, Bill, you saw him getting on the Dirty Money and getting ready to go out to Supercat racing. Dirty Money is your reigning Supercat world champion, 388 skater. Certainly, you know, they were the boat to beat certainly heading into this year, but they've had all they can handle from Team Gradell. This is a highly competitive class, Supercat. We're talking about naturally aspirated engines. It's a spec class. You have to meet technical rules, but this is kind of roll up your sleeve class. You can build your own engine if you like.
Right.
There are engine manufacturers like Sterling and Goodwin, Kase and Hamilton that are building engines here in Supercat class, but the competition is equally as tight, but the style of these boats is one of a kind.
Oh yeah, I mean we have 5 boats in Supercat. I think we have 5 different engine builders represented.
Yeah.
So might be a good time to do the rundown.
Yeah. Today's lineup.
The Skater 388 that Todd just mentioned, Dirty Money, Bill Pyburn throttling, Britt Lilly, and that's Goodwin competition engines. CR Racing, another 388 skater out of Lake of the Ozarks. Rob Understall is the owner-driver. Casey Boaz is throttling. Pee Wee Performance engines. Number 54, CJ Grant Gradell. Chris Grant is the owner-driver. He's from Toronto. Jay Muller is throttling the 388 skater with HRE racing engines. Roland Transport, 39 Outer Limits. Sean Connor's the driver. Vinny Diorio is the owner. And they have Sterling engines. And the inside lane is EWB Racing, the 36 skater out of Lake Havasu City with driver Ron Gibbs and Kelly Crace throttling. And those engines are out of T Custom Marine from Valencia, California.
All right, that's your starting grid for Supercat Racing as we look right down the tunnel of the 36 skater with T Custom Marine engines. That's EWB Racing. They're out of Lake Havasu. Kelly Craso, a native Chicagoan, came back and, as we mentioned, is walking the old streets here this week. And Ron Gibbs is driving for Kelly Crace.
Little native luck there. They're on lane 1. They got the pole.
They did.
Roland Transport is lane 2. Dirty Money's lane 3. CR Racing is 4, and Gradell is lane 5. So let's see how Chris and Jake do coming from the outside, because they're locked in a pretty tight points battle with Dirty Money. So there's a lot at stake today, because you got today and then you got Clearwater, and that's going to be your national champion.
Sitting here on that's our broadcast position as the X-Insurance helicopter flies overhead. Looking over the marina here at Lincoln Park, Montrose Beach. Todd and Eric here with you as we get ready for a 6-leg Supercat race. So the boats will head to the south end of the course on the shoreline, and we'll mill around there. And a mill means that the boats will go in a counterclockwise circle, wait for the pace boat, which will be on the inside of the course, to gather them up and line them up. It's tricky to get them lined up.
Yes, sir.
And they'll run under a yellow flag until the pace boat feels like they're in order, and then get the green flag and go. They'll be coming out of the middle at about 50 miles an hour and getting lined up.
Yeah, and the good indicator of when the starter is going to get them lined up with that yellow flag is they drop an orange smoke flare over the side of the pace boat just to let the teams, because it's not always easy to see in those cockpits, so that's a good visual indicator that it's time to get lined up and it's time to go racing.
The 388 skater has been the dominant boat in this class for several years, and that's the 388 skater. CR Racing with Rob Understall and Casey Boaz from Lake of the Ozarks running Pee Wee racing engines.
And they are former champions in the Superstock class, and which was the twin outboards. And recently purchased this boat and learning the getting the kinks worked out, learning the nuances. That boat has what we call tractor pipes, which stick straight up out of the engine compartment. So does Dirty Money.
Watch some of the other boats coming out. There's Rolling Transport. That's the lone outer limits hull that is racing in Supercat.
New driver this year, Sean Connor, has taken over the wheel for Vinny Diorio, who's, if they don't have the best looking trucks in the pits, I don't know who challenges them, honestly.
No.
Their rigs are beautiful. And
Rolling Transports builds them like no one else.
Want to give a shout out to Vincenzo Diorio for his great snowmobile racing efforts this past winter. He was beating kids probably almost twice his age from what Vinny tells me. So that is a motorsports family.
Back overhead with the X Insurance Helicam here from our broadcast Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Central Time with another full slate. And our next boat out, Great L from Canada. From Toronto, Chris Grant, the owner-driver, along with Jay Muller, the veteran throttleman for many years, a world champion.
Just stepped into the throttleman seat of that boat this year.
Yep.
And when he first did it, we were kind of shocked to learn he'd never throttled a 388. He was always in a 40 with Billy Moff, and I think he's taken to it pretty well.
Well, they definitely started the year off with a storm and giving Dirty Money all they could handle to wrestle with the checkered flag, and the national points hunt is completely up in the air right now between those two boats.
Yeah, the boat is now out of Austin Blocker's shop, Outlaw Performance, which I believe is in the Fort Myers area in Florida, and it works out well because HRE, is it Hemetman Racing Engines, is also in Fort Myers, so they can collaborate easily. There's not a lot of traveling that needs to be done.
So they got the boats in a circle. This isn't exactly where they said they were going to mill. Let's see if they just hold them and then maybe move them off shore. I'm sorry, further up down the shore to the south. Good look at the last 388 skater, Dirty Money, your reigning world champion. You know, there was talk that Bill Pyburn and Bo Renfro, Timothy Renfro, were going to buy a new 388 skater, but they put that on the shelf. They had so much success with this complete rebuild that they did with this boat, and were so dominating last year that they've stuck with this boat.
There's an element of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that boat surely showed it wasn't broken in Key West last year. So they're still working on it. They're still improving it. They're refining it, but they kind of feel like, it's still good. Why not just make it a little bit better?
And now in their second full year, Bill Piper and Britt Lilly getting a lot of seat time together, and probably I would say that no team tests more than Dirty Money Racing.
Yeah, they're out of I think their shop is down in, is it Stewart, Florida, and they also do repowers, repairs on other boats, and and Bo and Tiffany opened it up to take care of that boat, and I believe the X Insurance South boat is out of that shop now. So they've got a nice side business going on.
Looking at the sights of offshore powerboat racing here from the Windy City of Chicago. First time in 15 years that we've been here, and we're glad to be back. Supercat Racing coming up here on this Saturday afternoon in front of all of the fans here in the Windy City. And if you're just watching for the first time, you heard about this on the local news. These are the Supercats. These boats run in excess of 120 miles an hour. They're naturally aspirated engine. This is a spec class with canopy catamarans as big as 40 feet, most in the 38 category, with a 66-inch tunnel. Their maximum weight's 9,500 pounds. There are specific rules from the cams to the size of the motor, 510 cubic inches. They run the number 6 drives with a 1.61 gear ratio, 9.5 to 1 compression ratio. These are These are carbureted engines.
Naturally aspirated.
Naturally aspirated.
No superchargers or anything like that.
And no transmissions.
No, and I think what we were waiting on was one of the helicopters, because as soon as it came out over the course, the boats started heading out.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that helicopter, that's SSR, our safety and rescue team, led by Sean Steinert and J.R. Anderson, a 15-man team. They have divers in the chopper. There are divers strategically placed throughout the course should there be an incident that they can be on it within 1 minute.
The dedication that group shows to keeping these guys and gals safe is what makes them feel comfortable going out there to do this. So we really appreciate the, is it Dark Star is what they call the team?
Dark Star, SSR,
Yep.
and yeah, they are all veteran-trained safety professionals. So here we see the Supercats heading out to the milling area. We talked about tunnel tabs earlier, so since all of these boats, these catamarans, have the number 6 drives on them, they can all deploy tunnel tabs, and every boat, for the exception of the EWB racing boat, deploys the tunnel tab here, which can give the boat extra lift, extra compression from the stern of the boat down the straightaways. Got to be careful with it and not be on that tunnel tab in the turn. It can be very tricky, and you've got to really be careful, certainly in the bump, with those tunnel tabs.
Yeah, that's it's almost a black art learning the nuances of those.
Yeah, I got a chance to sit in the cockpit of the Dirty Money boat and just thinking about all of the decisions the throttle man has between the trim and the tunnel tab and handling the attitude of the boat, the position of the trim as well. There's a lot of decisions to be made in a split second. So we see the boats turn that south end, and the pace boat is going to bring them up and try and line them up. So the number 1 boat, EWB, will be the boat that the rest of the boats have to line up off of, and they've got to stay behind the pace boat.
Yeah, they said this morning they want them 100 feet behind the pace boat, all lined up before they'll throw the green. And if anyone who's going to make a call, if they don't like the start or see something they don't like, it's the person ordering the flag on the pace boat.
Yeah, so we've got to start
here.
here.
We got to start, and no surprise, Dirty Money, it looks like, is battling with Graydell. Okay.
So there they are on the outbound leg.
I think that's CR actually in lane 4. Dirty Money's lane 3, so they're right there. Yep. Now Dirty Money has moved out to the lead.
So Dirty Money will be able to move over. They have a more than 2 boat length lead here.
Looks like CR Racing and Graydell are side by side.
Graydell was on the outside, so they'll take the longer way around the course. Another important fact here, you want to stay out of the churn. Do not want to run through aerated water, so you will not see boats trying to draft. Doesn't happen in offshore powerboat racing.
No, that aerated water basically means less traction for the propellers because it's not biting in solid water. You want to stay in on non-aerated water whenever possible. And another thing worth noting is when they come by the finish buoy, the yellow buoy on the course, that will be the end of lap 1.
First of 6 laps here. This is a 3/4 lap, be counted as a full lap, and it appears Dirty Money has good traction in the water, as we see Rolling Transport now battling for 3rd with CR Racing. But Dirty Money out to a several boat length lead.
Yeah, they've already got a comfortable cushion over the battle for 2nd place, and just like in any other motorsport, when you're leading and there's a bunch of boats battling behind you, it usually works to your favor.
Looks like CR Racing is holding 2nd with Graydell and the Rolling Transport boat in a battle moving up on Graydell. Right now it's Dirty Money, Graydell, CR Racing, and Rolling Transport, followed by EWB. So we're underway, first lap in Supercat.
A big day in the Pyburn household. Bill's son is going to be starting the college football season at his new school at LSU tonight, and Bill's flying down to see it as they play Clemson. So he's going to have a busy weekend.
Yeah, he was going over his schedule this year to try and watch Jack play with the LSU. He's got it all planned out.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to race and get out and watch. There you have the leader, Dirty Money. Bill Pyburn and Brett Lilly with the Goodwin Racing engines and the 388 Skater.
And this boat is actually owned by Bo and Tiffany Renfro, and they picked Britt and Bill, and
looks like they're about 4 to 5 seconds ahead of Gradell on the outbound leg. Supercat Racing underway in the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Live coverage from the Maximum Inflation live stream. Cleveland Gas Technologies, the owner of Maximum Inflation brand, makes CO2 and nitrogen gas cartridges for marine, motorcycle, aviation, and military safety devices, such as inflatable life jackets and rider fall protection since 1965. Cleveland Gas, producing packaged gases and related gas handling equipment. Get a shot of CR Racing, Understall, and Boaz, former Super Stock World Champions in CR Racing.
Casey Boaz owns Herring Propellers out in Lake of the Ozarks, and I was talking with him this morning. He said business is going well, so.
Comes our leaders. Dirty Money has stretched out their lead on that outbound leg turn, that wide sweeping turn. And unofficially turns that lap at 98 miles an hour. Gradell running in second at 8 seconds back in second, Gradell.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And CR Racing in third.
Yep.
So it seemed like Dirty Money made up time on that wide sweeping turn. Went from about 4.5, 5 seconds to 9 seconds.
Yeah, now Gradell has moved over to the inside lane, and let's see if they can start reeling them in.
So Rolling Transport came in around in fifth. EWB continuing out on their run in fifth spot. It's an incredible story what the entire team, and if you talk to Britt or Bill, they'll tell you what a great team they have.
Oh, yeah.
Working on both their boats.
And the crew is led by Bobby Adams, who's a veteran crew chief and mechanic in the sport, and earning the respect of his competitors with hard work.
So on the outbound leg now, out on lap number 3, Dirty Money continues to lead Gradell. CR Racing in third. Moving towards the halfway point of this race. Gained about a second so far on this half lap has Dirty Money. Gradell, second. There's Dirty Money. Got that boat set up right where they want it. Still hitting a wave here and there and launching it. Bill's got to get off the throttles and snap back on them as the props set back into the Lake Michigan waters.
And now it's just playing it smart for 3 more laps and getting the points. And because I've got them on lap 3, that's what you're on, right?
Yep. This will be the completion of lap number 3. So this east turn is a wide sweeping turn, 3 pens. Dirty Money behind us, off camera coming through at the end of lap number 3. Still turning laps at about 97.2 miles an hour. Haven't come off it that much. And Gradell in second, still running 10 seconds off the pace. There's your number 3 boat, CR Racing.
And Robert Estelle even said this morning he'll be happy to get the finish today, so hopefully that's a step in the right direction for them, provided it happens.
So you have to imagine that you're not only dealing with the waves, which are, the wind's light and coming out of the east, starting to heat up a little bit here on Lake Michigan, still only in the upper 70s, that there's tremendous amount of washed up effect here because of all these huge seawalls in this area, protected basin area along the shoreline. As we get a good look at Chris and Jay in Gradell. Followed by CR Racing in third. And there is some traffic of boats that is allowed on the shoreline and on the seawall line in between the race course, quite far away, but a bigger boat that might come through a big weight, you have to watch out for that.
Yeah, you get a cabin cruiser coming along and all of a sudden you're going 100 miles an hour. It doesn't take much to upend a boat, so they do need to be aware of that, and they need to be mindful of it, especially along this inner leg.
More than halfway into this, back to the leader, Dirty Money. Again, we'll be back out here tomorrow at noon for more Supercat and Pro Class 1 racing.
Yeah, that's where the kind of an element of strategy comes into this, because you know you got a race today and tomorrow, so you're not loading for bear and just going all out today. You have to be a little conservative, especially once you know you're out front. Just keep it there, and because they have people on land telling them what the intervals are, just like we're doing with the stopwatches here.
Great shot overhead of the 388 Skater with Goodwin Racing engines. Dirty Money completing their fourth lap here.
And if you saw that logo on the stern of the boat, Boxo, that's a new tool company that's sponsoring Dirty Money this year.
Turned up the RPMs a little bit there, an extra mile an hour on that lap, and now find themselves 14 seconds ahead of Gradell after lap number 4. CR Racing holding down third. Same place last lap where they got that hop right down there on in between turns 4 and 5 on that southbound turn.
Yep.
Off the inbound leg. 2 laps to go. $19 seconds behind Gradell is CR Racing, and 30 seconds behind CR is Rolling Transport. Well,
is that off the lead?
That's off the lead? Was that off the lead? Yeah, so that, check that. That's CR 19 seconds off the lead. Rolling Transport 30 seconds off the lead. Go back to our leaders. And then Graydell from the X Insurance Helicam.
Always some great shots that they get from that angle. Or I jinxed it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Todd and Eric here at the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Glad to have you with us again tonight. Replays of the action. You know, X Sports does such a great job of producing sizzle reels and helicam footage that we can watch, you know, during our days when offshore powerboat racing isn't happening. That plays back on X Sports as well as this broadcast. But tonight, replays of the live stream at Navy Pier at the Beer Garden. It's a big party, and invite everyone to come out and enjoy the race team, enjoy the race teams, and enjoy Chicago hospitality. Graydell from Toronto. They've been known as a rough water boat. They found speed this year.
Yes, they have, because they showed it in one of the calmest courses around. All right, here's the Graydell and Dirty Money should both be starting their white flag lap.
They just passed the start-finish line out for their last lap. Dirty Money, Graydell. Now 18 seconds off the pace. So Dirty Money with the lead here on race day one in Supercat Racing. Graydell in second.
But that could be Chris and Jay saying, all right, they covered us today. It's not our day. Let's just hold second, get the points, make our adjustments for tomorrow, and come back and take another swing at it.
Rolling Transport holding on to fourth. So Graydell 19 seconds off the lead. CR Racing 26 seconds off the lead boat Dirty Money, and Rolling Transport 35. It's been Dirty Money's day. They picked the setup. In this class, I mean, obviously propeller setup is huge in picking the right size propeller pitch, picking tall, short props based on the waves that you're facing. Not so much. These are heavy boats.
Weight placement.
Yeah, it's a weight placement, absolutely.
Because if you're flying the bow, you're not going to be fast. You got to keep it moving forward.
Something also to talk about these engines don't have low end torque, so you really got to stay up on the RPMs with them when you go into the turns. So they'll run these boats hard all the way around.
They do.
They will turn them very hard.
And it's hard to find someone who has more seat time in a Skater 388 than Bill Vibram. He built the first one.
And although he wasn't doing it in racing, he was doing the poker runs and taking these boats out and running them and long hours.
Running them long hours, and on top of that, just the number of boats on the water and the confused conditions you're running them in a poker run.
Getting a look at Dirty Money for the last time. It's on their final lap of this 6-lap heat. Half the points for Supercat and the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Checkered flag. The Dirty Money team will finish up here today And they average right at 97.76 miles an hour unofficially. Finished the course in 15 minutes, 2 seconds. Graydell will finish up behind them in second.
Yep. And Robin Casey will come across third. They get their first podium of the year with this. They get their first podium with the new boat, I believe. So that's progress. That's moving in the right direction.
CR Racing finish up in third here today. Chicago X Insurance Nationals. And there's Rolling Transport. They'll hold on to fourth. EWB Racing will take fifth. That's your Supercat finish here today. Live coverage from Chicago from the Porte Products Broadcast Center. Porte Products with the outboard transom lift bracket, leaders in marine technology, and the most advanced hydraulic transom lift bracket in the world. You can get your outboard engine or engines up to 22 inches vertically. Let them build one for you at porteproducts.com. Right, next up, the 4 Pro Class 1 teams will come out
and run their 6 laps. It'll be interesting to see the difference in the averages between the two classes.
It will.
I don't think it'll be a ton. And
I would agree.
And let's see if X Insurance South makes it out.
Yeah, we heard from them. They're having
to
some
see it.
Rudder trouble. Looking overhead. Right now, they'll get the checkered flag. This is no easy endeavor with a boat without transmissions.
And speaking of the family aspect of the sport, the driver of that cigarette is Chuck Buis, who is Nick's dad. And he hauls the boat to the races and has been the pace boat, I'm pretty sure, at every stop all season. Oh, EWD broke. Oh, that's too bad. EWB broke down.
They're out on the course. They will finish overall 5th. They went out and got the start today. And there's your winners, Dirty Money. And we took a last look at them here on Lake Michigan in Chicago. Now,
yeah, they need to head back in and make a quick swap to
that's
Class 1 boat.
Something that we didn't mention. A lot of these teams run multiple boats, so they got to get back to the docks, and the team's got to have the other boat ready to go.
Yeah. There have been times when they've even idled the other boat out and they have done a swap. If it's calm like it is here, you can bring the other boat out and kind of do a swap out in the middle, and the crew will just bring the Supercat back in, get it lifted out, and just kind of make the transition a little easier. Okay, we're going to take a little break because the helicopter needs to put some fuel back in. I'm sure Rick Lindsay's been leaning on it pretty hard, chasing down all these fast boats.
So with a break in the action, we're going to take a break here as well. Looking at Dirty Money, your winner today in Supercat. They'll be back out tomorrow. They'll be running 12 laps here today. The big boats, both Pro Class 1 and Supercats, will race 12 laps here tomorrow in front of the fans in Chicago. So with a break in the action, let's take time out. More coming to you here from Chicago. The X Insurance Chicago Nationals will return in a moment.
When it comes to propellers, yeah, it's probably one of the most important things we have as far as a tuning aid with the boats. We carry around 20 sets of props with us. These 3 cabinets are all full of propellers. Basically, on this end of the case, we start with bigger pitch, which would be like a higher gear so to run faster. So we go from the bottom up and we change diameters, which either changes the lift of the boat. Smaller diameter, set it down on its rear end, a bigger picks the back end up. So it lets it run flatter, or vice versa, carry the nose. Most of these props are done at half pitches. so we can fine tune basically on 100 RPMs, where a full prop change pitch is about 200 plus RPMs. This case right here is basically full of a mixture of Mercury and Herrings. Those are the two brands we all run in the offshore racing. We can pull one out, and this is a Herring. They look like a piece of jewelry after they get finished and sent to us. Very sharp edges. This prop's a higher rake prop. It's an 18 degree, 16.5 diameter. Basically a typical setup we'd run on the Supercat on a normal flat water day. As it gets rougher, we go to a lower rake prop, which acts almost like trim. So as you go down on the rake, it lays the nose over. So instead of us having to trim the boat as hard, this prop will automatically put the nose over, make the boat run flatter, so you get in big water, it's going to try to fly flat all the time. This prop's going to carry the nose, which in big water, you don't want to be doing this the whole time. Yeah, so the pricing on these, the Herrings, they're around 16.5 a set.
Laps, that's great.
And the Mercury's around 12,000 a set.
Pro Class 1, it looks like, is
a little difference in price.
Okay.
But a little difference in material that they use. And,
the 7's going to run.
But both great props.
5 laps. Right?
Race 2 is bracket classes 2 and 4, and the Start 1. Start 2 is classes 5 and 7, and Cat 300 and Mod V.
And 7's going to run 5?
Yep.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous because I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really want to come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare to my line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
Our new Pro Class, one race boat built for speed and engineered for dominance. But can it handle the pressure? Today, the crew puts it to the first test. Every bolt, every adjustment, every decision leads to this very moment.
First time I've seen it all cleaned up. Got the X Insurance logos on it. Ready to roll, man.
So what are we doing today? Going to test?
First we're going to go in, go over all the systems while it's in the water with both motors running. We'll head out, do a couple quick pulls, and pop the hatches, check over everything, and then start prop testing.
The new X Insurance South boat. Leading up, we picked the boat up. We had to put new engines in, partial re-rig on it, and then go through it, tighten everything, check everything, make sure everything's ready to go. First initial test, the boat ran really well. We lost an alternator, so we're gonna swap one out real quick, and then we're gonna head back out.
Back rows, you gotta bring your old trash, your oil jugs, everything.
boat just went really fast. I can't reveal that speed though.
Everybody did
everybody did a great job. The boat reacts so well, handles so good, feels so great in the bump out there. Headwind, tailwind, crosswind, everything. It ran perfectly. The boat just effortlessly just hauls ass.
This thing looks so much faster
And it really is.
than the
Like y'all go, we're like, thought he was only going to do 100, and then all of a sudden you go 100. We're like, ain't no way that's 100.
I'll take that for a first outing.
Yeah.
I've had a lot worse, I will tell that.
Yeah. We all have.
I've had a lot worse first tests. Get up the ramp over here.
Not bad. Good eye.
Hey, we're ready. Can I grab you?
Yep.
Bill?
You know when they cut to us?
You have a second?
Sure. Live?
Yes. Not yet, but just stand here like you are. Hey guys, it's Tristan down here with Britt and Bill. How'd you guys do out there?
Oh man, hats off to Bill today. It's a throttle man's race out there. Got a good start, was able to track down CR, got to the first turn, was able to come over and just keep all the momentum up and put it up on top.
Bill?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the boat went out and did exactly what we thought it was going to do. Look, the boat, when it's given a fair chance at the starts, it'll do its deal. And we just got out in the lead. Stretched the lead. Once they told us we were out by like 15 seconds, we backed it down. Just you're taking some hard flyers out there. There's definitely, you know, a couple times out there it was, you know, you had,
oh shit,
yeah, definitely. and so, you know, we're trying at that point, just trying to keep the boat in one piece, get it back in here so we can race tomorrow.
Look great out there. Congratulations, guys.
Time to go do it again.
but
yeah,
it's great.
This is live broadcasting for you.
have them. Can you take that?
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve. Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
the old saying, to be the best, you got to win in Key West. We got all these events going on. You know, we have parties every night. What I see is controlled chaos.
This course, based on the wind coming out of the east, the way it is, it's going to be a course with 3 different conditions. You're going to have smooth water coming in the mole into the harbor and out the turn. About halfway down, it's going to start getting a little bit bumpy, and then between 1 and 2, you're going to get knocked around.
When a Class 1 boat gets wound up, it's a big boat, and when it's going at 150 mile an hour, it's pretty exciting. And my wife used to say to me, I never smile as much as when I get out the boat. You just can't help but have a grin on your face. You've just been sent on a wonderful ride.
Yeah, I'd say that the thing about speed is everything that comes with it, all the different variables, whether it's the exhilaration of launching off of a wave and then coming back in and getting right back in the throttles. You know, speed, it's like an addiction, and I've definitely got it.
I feel like being in a boat's just like being in NASCAR. Big, loud, scary, fast, hella fun. The boat's looking good, we're looking good. When the green flag drops, you're racing, you're going. You're not stopping until that frickin' checkered flag is waving. You go out there, you beat your boat until you cross that checkered flag.
Every single lap is different, you know. You're basically going out there with a full race car or truck across 3 and 4 and 5 foot plowed fields and holding on. And you've got to have the best setup to have the best day.
On the water for your race. No, you're not sweating at all. So good luck. We'll see you out there.
There you go.
Everybody in boat racing comes down to Key West because this is it. This is the pinnacle of boat racing.
Let her rip. Let's go.
Are you talking shit? MCon versus X, bro. Just wait till our Class 1 boat passes you.
Well, the boat's here.
Oh, you like the shirt?
What's the boat?
Which one?
Our boat.
It did good.
What'd MCon get?
6th.
6?
Yeah.
You're just not fast this weekend?
No.
What are you doing right now?
Nothing.
You got some flow going.
You like it?
When are you gonna race?
I think next year. Oh, he ain't, bro. He's gonna get on, bro. Trust.
Damn.
Oh, bro, are you talking shit? MCon versus X, bro. Just wait till our Class 1 boat passes you tomorrow.
So you guys got the beginning of what, the 450 class 8? Oh God, they're raging.
You tested it?
Yeah, boat ran perfect. It's awesome. It's our sport trailer. Come on in.
We got back here's all extra storage if we ever need to.
You don't hide anyone back
Come on
here,
back.
right?
Yeah, we hide back here actually.
There's not much in here.
Extra drive.
That's all you got in here.
Extra engines would go in here, or like golf cart. The golf cart comes in here. But
I like your drape.
this is Captain Mark's. All his clothes. This is literally what he wears.
Is this where he sleeps?
Yeah, he sleeps right here on that.
Have a little burgers and chicken tonight.
Are you gonna overcook the burgers?
I'm gonna try not to.
Yeah.
Watched a YouTube about cooking burgers, and I think I got it.
You know how to use a fire extinguisher?
No, hey, I don't think we're gonna need a fire extinguisher.
Maybe you're too high of heat.
I keep turning them down.
What are we up to?
Tasting the water.
How'd the boat run?
I'm on top of it. I stick my hands on his and like, do you want some help?
The park on the phase one. Whatever Nate's doing over there.
Then we're gonna go to a pool party. Then we're gonna go line dancing. Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
What are you more excited for? The pool party or the line dancing?
Depends.
Depends on what?
The talent.
Camera will be right there, and they're just gonna come in like this, action, boom, and then come to this spot, boom. Give me one of these. Okay.
What do you think about the Mod V race?
It's gonna be crazy.
Is it rough out there?
It's rough.
You think you have some experience though now that you know what's going on?
Not at all. I just know I need some water. It's hot.
Morpheus 8 in 5th. The outside lane going to Morpheus 8, bigger of a boat.
Comes the X-Insurance boat trying to get a run out of here. Green flag. We're racing here in Sarasota. Class 1 style.
Like 150, 200 is the price tag. These 2 miles, not enough for me.
That's probably the 702 and the 703 both the price ones. 702 cracked the boat. On there, probably 2 and that's what I'm placing myself. Well, we can't just sell you the part.
Yeah, let's go. You can have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why not?
You gotta study, dude.
Dude, I'm already a senior, bro. I have senioritis. I
You're
don't even
a
go to
senior.
school.
You going to prom?
Maybe it depends.
Depends on what. If you win or not, your next
If
race.
you guys want to go to prom, and then Ganon's gonna tag my Instagram down below.
What about your Snapchat?
Snapchat, DM me, and I'll give it to you.
Well, your pickup lines haven't been too great this weekend, have they?
No. That one waiter didn't want my phone number.
That's the only one you've tried?
Yeah, she laughed.
Cam, where are we right now?
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
I know, what are we doing here?
There's a bee. All you can eat wings.
Are you getting wings, Owen?
Yeah. Are we going here every single day that we're here?
These plates for the brand.
Thank you.
Who's your competition this weekend, Cam?
Me, myself, and I.
Cameron, your boat just came in here to Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Yes,
dude, this thing is sick.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Tell me all about it.
So this is a 24-foot Wicked by Todd DePhillips, and it has a Mercury 225R prototype.
We've been waiting for this boat for a while. It's a collaboration between Wicked Custom, TFR, X Insurance, Sean Turnte Racing, Mercury Racing, and Evolution Trailers, and it just showed up, like literally brand new.
It's supposed to be an entry-level class where someone can start boat racing and have all the proper safety equipment and get their feet wet with a modern race boat. That way they can transition from one of these into a bigger boat.
Cameron's been waiting a long time for this boat, so tomorrow will be its first debut.
I think it's a good way to get started and be safe for the kids that you want to put in it, or I mean even adults, but people that want to learn and have a safe boat. That it's one of the biggest fear factors for me putting my son in a boat is to have protection around him. You know, and the canopy's the way to go.
Yeah, we're trying to get it to split the prop. Yeah.
It is though, guys. It's low. I don't know how low it looks. Okay, you want? I mean, 2 feet ain't gonna hurt you.
Just a couple of feet.
Come
just
back,
a little
Mark.
bit, guys.
Hey guys, it's Tristan. I'm down here with the X Insurance North Pro Class 1 team, Nick and JJ. How'd you guys do this morning qualifying?
Fortunately, we got the pole position this morning. Went out and did a couple test laps, made a couple changes to the boat, put it back in the water, and went out and did our qualifying laps, and luckily enough, got the pole.
Got the pole. Great news. Well, when I walked down here, it looked like there was some stuff going on with the boat. What's going on, JJ?
We got the crew doing some last-minute repairs. Came by the start-finish line, pulled in, realized we got and we got something we had it going, but
Get real loud, give it up for Michigan City.
Here's Billy. We got Billy here. How you doing, Billy?
You got Billy where?
Right
You got
here.
Billy wherever you want, Billy. What's happening? Everybody having a good time today or what?
Yeah, what about you?
I always have a good time. I just went to the zoo. I saw my buddies. I walked out of the driver's meeting. I heard the wolves howling. I said, they're calling me. So that's where I went. I went and see the wolves. Did you go yet?
Where? The wolves?
Take that camera and take that microphone and go see the wolves. And they got 2 brand new black Jaguars over there. They're gorgeous. You got to go to the zoo.
Okay, we'll check it out.
Right there, right there.
Right over there, people. You're in Michigan City, you check out the zoo.
Come here, you don't necessarily come here just to go boat racing. You come here to go to the zoo.
Well, that's why he comes, folks.
This is another zoo. This is another zoo. This is another zoo.
I was going to say, aren't you the leader?
It's the human zoo.
All right, man, so I'm here with Britt Lilly. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot, buddy. So, this is your first time in a boat today, right?
Yep, I just sat in it for the first time today.
What do you think?
It's badass, man. Gene's been working hard. It's almost totally completed. We're ready to go put some time on it.
What do you think about the overall boat? I mean, you're ready to get in.
I've been competing against it for a while in the Husky Chocolate boat, and I'm glad to be in it now. And on X Insurance, and love Rick and everybody and the whole team. Just happy to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the boat, man. It's here.
The boat is finally here. A ton of hard work from Gene, our crew chief.
Yep.
Al in Illinois that did all the body repair. We feel the boat's actually going to come in lighter than it was before, which is an advantage to us because now we can move some weight around depending on conditions, which we could a little bit before. But we look to put the boat back on top where it deserves to be.
Good deal. So you're the driver, and you have a new throttleman this year, right?
I do. Britt Lilly, who comes from a great racing family. He's been around boats forever. It's just nothing's faster than sea time, and we haven't had that opportunity to really get down and do some testing. We're playing the cards we've been dealt, and just using the rest of the season to try to get better and better.
Tell me a little bit about Jared, your competition today. Let's hear it.
So I know he's the demander of the boat, so he'll tell John what to do and what not to do. So he used to do that to me. I know you cannot let him get past you on those turns, so he'll take them tight. That boat turns very well, so I'm gonna try to take those turns as tight as possible for Owen's boat so we don't let him get around us. And Owen's really good at throttling, so is Jared. So hopefully me and Owen bring home the checker flag today.
Nice bump. Great, go. He's cutting us off. We good? Yeah. And what do you want to do, behind or in front?
Where is it? Behind.
Behind it?
Behind. Yeah, in front?
Yeah, we got this. We got it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Ready? Turn it.
Hit it. You see the buoy?
Yeah, I got it.
How you feeling about this right now?
I'm a little nervous. They're a little close. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Nervous
You're
mom.
excited as well?
Yeah, I'm excited, but very nervous.
And you're the father, right?
Oh yeah, they're doing awesome out there.
Good deal.
It's a little tense, but they're doing it.
Yep.
Let's see him. Let's do it. All right, we're good.
What the fuck is that?
Some bullshit.
I don't know why it's on the course. It's like $2. That wasn't on the. He's pushing us inside of it.
Hit it. Push him out. And we have hit, buddy.
ready?
Yep. Yeah, there we go.
Hi, Todd. Hi, Todd. Todd.
So this is the business end of these awesome machines. 2200 horsepower, you can have multiple different setups. We choose the Mercury 6 static drive They do not move because we have a rudder. This is how you steer the boat. This is basically our rudder. This is
Jackhammer coming this weekend?
Yeah, Jackhammer, Gary, those two are Monday's comp.
What do you think about Jackhammer?
I think Jackhammer.
Insurance sucks, and we think so too. Why? Because traditional policies don't provide complete coverage, leaving you to deal with the holes and gaps. But not anymore. X Insurance's true umbrella and true homeowners are a true partner, covering any potential gaps and exclusions. With X Insurance's true umbrella and true homeowners policy, you will experience true insurance when compared to traditional policies. Contact us today or ask your agent about X Insurance.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
Now back to the X Insurance Chicago Nationals here on X Insurance Sports YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and catch all of their sizzle reels and action from today's races and all the races that X Insurance Sports follows around the World Powerboat Race Association Series. This is, of course, a Race World Offshore event. 2 races left until the Key West World Championships coming up in November. Go to raceworldoffshore.com for the full schedule of events. This is the Chicago race with Todd Swafford here and Eric Colby. Eric, here we are. We've got bracket class boats that have been moved up into our second start. We saw the Supercats earlier and the Pro Class 1 teams qualify. Now our bracketed boats will run, and later today we'll finish up with a 6-lap Pro Class 1 race.
Yeah, so we've got a pretty good mix of 11 boats in 4 or 5 classes coming up for the bracket race, and we'll go with bracket 700, 500, Cat 300, 1 in Mod V, and I think it should be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, bracket class racing is a speed bracketed race, and boats can only go to a certain mile per hour. They're GPS controlled. Obviously, they're GPS monitored, excuse me.
Right.
And obviously, if they get out over their speed limit, they'll get penalized. We'll go over that during the course of the race, but we have several different classes of boats, bracket 700, 500, bracket class 400, and 500 out here racing today. As we look overhead down in the pits with the X Insurance South team that reported a rudder problem earlier, they'll be out to race here shortly in Pro Class 1. Let's look at the grid for today in the bracketed classes. Bracket Class 700, let's start with them. Kind of a fun series of boats that are open canopy.
Open cockpit,
open
20
cockpit.
to 22 feet, 300 horse Mercury outboard. Didn't mean to step on you there.
That's okay.
And we've got 3 boats in that class. The 730 Red Rum is a 22 progression, and I heard, our entry sheet says Anthony Cruz and Robert Barneski, but we heard something about the name Dawson in the drivers' meeting, so we'll follow up on that as best we can for tomorrow. The Blind River Bar is a 22 activator, Dustin Kluwat and Brady Martine, and this boat is the former national and world champion that ran as X Insurance Statement last year. And the boat that everyone's chasing this year is the Dirt Legal Velocity, a 22 Velocity, with Brad Christopher on the driving and Connor Langheim throttling the boat. We have 1 boat in bracket 500, which is Pump It. The Dacey Brothers from Tampa, it's a 29 Warlock with a 565 big block. We have 1 Mod V. It's Derek Dawson of Punisher fame from out in Lake of the Ozarks, who's going to be in the Red Run. And then we've got Modified V, JJ Turk and Nick Bewis. It's 29 Extreme, that's one of the teams that's doing double duty. TFR X Insurance and Cat 300 is Cameron Turk is driving, and Owen Bewis is throttling the Wicked 24 with a single 300 horse Mercury. In bracket 200, the father-son team of Cade and Keith Herbott from Marathon, Florida are running solo. Bracket 400, Simmons Racing, the 34 Phantom, Jake Kuntz is driving, Jason Zolecki is throttling. Miss Stress, 30-foot Phantom, Jimmy Wessel from Fort Myers, Florida is driving, and Bruce Dudley is throttling the 675 horse engine. 409 X Insurance Hartman, John Izzetti from Doylestown, PA is driving, Jerry Hartman is throttling, and Burning Man, the 32 Speedster that's built by Team Archer Marine out in Southern California, Kyle Dietzen is driving, and Chris McElway is throttling.
Looking at the Miss Stress team, which is here racing in Chicago. We want to thank all of our bracketed class teams that came here today. Jimmy Wessel, Bruce Dudley in the Phantom, A lot of phantoms that we'll see up and down the classes in bracketed class. X Insurance is represented very well throughout the bracketed classes, and also the Mod V boat that we're going to see here today. So 3 X Insurance teams here racing this afternoon in Chicago.
Cat 300 boat too.
That's right. The
TFR X Insurance, and I just found out this morning when we were talking with JJ Turk, his son's working. Cameron Turk is working out at X Insurance now in Utah as an underwriter. So he gets to go on all the crazy adventures that the Lindsays like to go on. Not crazy, but they're definitely adventures with all their toys. So sounds like a pretty good way for an 18-year-old to be spending his life post-high school.
So to tell you a little bit about bracketed boats, and our bracket 200 boat that's racing here today, Urbot Racing, these are 30 to 42 foot canopied single or twin engine boats with a bracketed speed of 95 miles an hour. And just briefly, before I continue on, Eric, bracketed class racing allows boats that are similar in size and inch capacity, but you could have a boat that has more horsepower that you could pair up with a similarly powered boat, but in a straightaway it would absolutely blow it away. So they set a bracketed speed that they both can follow, and that's where bracket class racing comes from.
Yeah, and you talk to someone who's getting into a bracket boat for the first time, and it's almost counterintuitive because you just want to go out and race, and that means slamming the throttle forward and going as fast as you can. Bracket, if you exceed your class's speed limit, you break out, and you could lose even though you're the first guy across the finish line. So there's a discipline to it that guys will tell you takes some getting used to. And the people who get good at it, they're watching the GPS on the dash of their boat and just counting on the driver to get them around the course, because if they go faster, say I think it's a class 500, 75 miles an hour. You go faster than 75, you turn in your GPS chip at the end of the day to the officials. They see that you've broken 75 miles an hour. You're going to get DQ'd. So
these races, although we see boats finish, you really don't know until they bring those chips back and they're inspected to find out who might have broken out and how many times that might have happened, which can cause some serious tiebreakers where you have a series of boats that have broken out. So we really caution you with all these races. There can be technical issues or score, issues where someone missed a buoy, or there was an issue at the start. Those all will be scrutinized at the end of the race, as it is with bracket class racing, when they'll go back and look at the chips and the speeds, and there's a series of tiebreakers that will resolve all of that. Bracket class 400 that's racing here today, they're V-canopied, and at 85 miles an hour is the bracketed class speed. 500 is 70 miles an hour. Those are open cockpit boats, V only, naturally aspirated engines. And talk a little bit about the class 700 boats, which are the small 20 to 22 foot single outboard, open or canopy, but all these boats racing here today are in the 20-22 V-bottom range, and with the single 300 Mercury outboards. Looking overhead into the pits here at the marina, Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park, near the Corinthian Yacht Club. We'd like to give them a mention and thank them for their help providing us a spot for our medical and safety review each morning and our drivers meeting here. Look at one of the bracketed boats there moving to the right of the screen.
Heading out to the mill, the pace boat to the left there still had the red flag up. So they're just they're getting into their milling circle, which is where they stay off plane and they run in a circle until the pace boat comes and gathers them up, shoots off the orange smoke to let them know you've got a couple of minutes until we go. And then the other thing you were talking about with the bracket boats is some of them, for lack of a better term, maybe look a little older, because some of them are older race boats from different classes that the officials came up with this way for people to let them keep racing, really. And you have a lot of diehard fans of the bracket boats because they like that classic look.
Yeah, some great stories we get from bracket class racers over the years. Certainly in Michigan City, we had a giant turnout. We thank all those bracketed class teams that showed up in Michigan City and for sharing those stories with us. Some real good ones that we heard in the years past.
Yeah, I mean, the one couple of guys, I think they were in their 70s, and they were racing, and they still have to pass the swim test. They still have to be able to tread water for 30 minutes, or 3 minutes, and continuously, and then you see the other guy, like Johnny and Jason Saris. You know, they own Saris Performance up in Bolton Landing, New York on Lake George, and they run the shop, so they can't get out to a lot of races, so they kind of pick and choose, but they have this beautiful 33-foot, I think it's a Scorpion, that they redid, and when they make it to a race, they're always a threat in whatever bracket class they decide to run.
Our bracket boats are getting set up here, 6, 7, and 8 laps for the different classes.
Yep.
The bracket 2 and 4 boats will be out first in the first start, running 7 laps each, and then the bracket 5 and 7 running 5 and 6 laps. Actually, the 5 and 5 laps in bracketed 5 and 6. And the 2 lone boats running unopposed in Cat 300 and Mod B will be on the outside or running behind, as they are here to run in support of their fellow teams at the X Insurance Chicago Nationals.
Now, will that be the sons trying to chase down the dads? Because I think the dads will have a speed advantage with the Mod V over the Cat 300.
Yes.
Especially if the conditions bump up at all.
Yeah, and Owen Buis and Ricky Harmeyer out there.
Cameron Turk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cameron Turk. Ricky and Owen used to run in the Class 700 boat.
Right.
And that boat now racing as Blind River Bar. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more. But yeah, Owen and it just came out from Lake of the Ozarks, those guys. The speed run. They put on a nice speed run.
Yep, they ran the speed run. And, yep, 96, 97. And the, Nick and JJ ran the turbine boat in the Dam to Dam record and in the shootout. I think they ran an easy cruise of about 130 or so in the shootout. And, they just enjoy doing it. You can just tell the families like to be together. It's a good group of people.
Yeah, so Cameron Turk and Owen Buis in Cat 300 boat. We have a boat that we hope to see more and more of as the seasons roll on. A very entry-level catamaran canopy class with a single outboard engine. That boat has the Porte hydraulic transom lift bracket. You can't use that in racing in some of these classes that we're seeing here today. I think in the bracket 700 boats.
Yep.
I
think they have to be fixed if they're on the boat, but I don't even know that you can have one on a 700 class boat.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The Dirt Legal boat has one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think he said he could use it. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely on the Cat 300 boat that Cameron and Owen are driving.
Yeah, and that boat is built at Wicked. There's also an Argo 23 running that we've seen a few times, the Jackhammer boat out of Manatee Marine Unlimited. And I hear there's more Wickeds being built or being ordered, or there's a lot of curiosity about the class right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some more out in the next year or two, especially.
Porte bracket allows the boats, especially with the engine in the tunnel, to dig it down, get a little bit better bite. I was talking with Brad Christopher and the Dirt Legal boat. So he really likes to use it to dig down, get a little bit more bite and directional stability in his V-bottom as well, and the velocity. So we're waiting the start of our bracketed boats here. First of 2 this afternoon in our second series of races. The X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Next up, the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals to end the WPRA racing season in Clearwater before heading off to Key West. We get a look at the Herbot Racing, Cade and Keith Herbot and 38 Fountain just moving off the screen.
There's the 32 Speedster, the Burning Man boat, out of the Team Archer Marine Shop in Southern California. And out at Lake of the Ozarks this past week at the shootout, they had the 43 Scarab that Team Archer Marine did an amazing restoration job on. It was Don Johnson's boat that he ran and won the World Championship in Key West. And Team Archer Marine has kind of built up a following for restoring classic old Scarabs. And, you know, Dan McNamara at Team Archer, very good friends with Larry Smith, who designed the original Scarabs, and Larry's still around. And so that's a nice piece of history if you get to see that boat.
Thanks for joining us here on the X Insurance live stream. You can watch it at X Insurance Sports. Be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel, as well as RWO's YouTube channel. You can watch replays at RWO's YouTube channel, as well as X Insurance Sports, and follow on Race World Offshore's Facebook page. This is Maximum Inflation live stream, brought to you by Maximum Inflation. The new Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit by Maximum Inflation is the only U.S.-made valve that uses CO2 cartridges for your side-by-side motorcycle or ATV. Your machine got you there. The Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit gets you home.
We have orange smoke. I did see that off the pace boat. So now it's just a matter of getting the guys lined up.
Just joining us, this is an east to west course. The boats will be milling on the south end of the course and then going on the outbound leg eastbound and moving into more of the open waters of Lake Michigan, away from the city. About 3/4 of the course is out past the point of Montrose Beach, so more open water. Then they'll go into a wide sweeping turn on the east end, 3 buoys, 1, 2, and 3, or then turning back on the inbound leg. And those outbound and inbound legs are about 2 miles. This entire course, 4.7 miles buoy to buoy. The boats coming in on the inbound leg will head towards turn 4 and 5, which are 90-degree turns on the west end and on the shoreline of the city of Chicago. Start-finish line is down near our position in front of the fans here on the seawall at Lincoln Park at Montrose Beach.
Yeah, one of the things that we need to be able to have a race is a helicopter with divers, and that's what we were waiting on. They're inbound, so we should be getting a green light to go pretty quick here.
Overhead of the father and son duo, Nick Buis and JJ Turk, X Insurance Mod V. They're the reigning world champion. Another X Insurance boat there in Class 400 with John Anizetti and Jerry Hartman, Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Simmons Marine with Jake Kuntz and Jason Zolecki. Jake is Bill Simmons' stepson, and he stepped into the driver's seat the last few races.
We're waiting our second start of the day. Earlier we watched qualifying in the Pro Class 1 Series. X Insurance North taking the fastest lap of the day, followed by Monster Energy and MTI's GC Racing. They'll be out racing on the grid. It looks like X Insurance South was in the water after having a rudder issue at qualifying, and we'll be out there on the starting grid on the outside lane later. But right now we're following our bracketed class boats here in Chicago this afternoon. There's a good look at Owen and Cameron. Owen Buis, Cameron Turk in that 24-foot single-engine catamaran, the X Insurance.
It's got to be pretty cool to be a couple of like sub-20-year-olds racing a boat, Chicago skyline in the background. They've gotten to see some pretty cool places this year and the last couple of years.
Don't know if you can beat that view.
No, that's
Chicago downtown. We've had some good times here in the days leading up to the races and meetings leading up to the races. Got a chance to spend time in the Wrigleyville area. Stayed down there a couple of days. Walked through Addison and went down to a Second City show. Saw a blues show at in downtown at the Buddy Guy's, and as well went to a White Sox and Yankees game one night. And hope to see a game at Wrigley on Monday with the Cubs. A couple of sailboats on the course we're hearing that are causing a delay in the start of this bracket class race.
Yeah, this is a very popular sailing area, so I'm sure they'll get it cleared, but those guys, they want their time on the water on Labor Day weekend as well, so it's just something we have to deal with. Sailboats up here, sea turtles and manatees down in Florida. It's just part of the game.
So hopefully have that cleared here momentarily and get this race going. We were just about ready to
Okay, looks like we've got them moving.
So there's your pace boat.
Pace boat has the yellow flag up.
These boats are off and moving. We'll have the start of this race here from the Porte Products Broadcast Center. Porte Products, state-of-the-art hydraulic transom lip bracket for outboard engines. Horsepower capacities to 1,000 per engine, up to 1,500 pounds of weight per engine. Let them build one for you at PorteProducts.com. So these are our
400 class boats.
Will be mixed in with the bracket 200s to the outside.
Yeah, because the Herbots and their fountain and bracket 200s, so they're just going to hang back and let the 400 boats go because they don't want to impede their race.
So they're off. The bracket class 400 boats maxed at 85. Herbot, he can do more, but he's going to be gracious and stay to the outside and let these guys race. We have 5 boats running in bracket class here in class 400.
Yeah, it looks like X Insurance Hartman is getting out to the early lead in their 30-foot Phantom.
So we saw that these, the catamaran boats were catching a little bit of air, obviously on the eastward leg completely to the east, and then there's a couple of hops that they were catching when they were coming back in just past the point at Montrose Beach. So still on the outbound leg, and then our opening lap of 7 for class 400, bracket class 400.
Hartman X Insurance, new boat this year for them, I believe. I don't recall seeing it last year at all, and I'm a little surprised that Simmons isn't challenging harder because they're a 34-foot boat and they should have an advantage in these conditions. But we'll just have to say, whoa, just stood it up there going into the turn, so yeah, it's bumpy out there. Watching this boat kind of get a little loose. I don't know if they can put ballast in this one or not. Some of the Phantoms you can use water ballast. And we'll just pick them up as they come back towards us.
See how far they are off the shore here. Good 2 miles off. That's between now turn 2 and 3.
Oh, and this is when you start to wonder, could someone be breaking out of their speed?
It's that far out of
with a lead like that,
yeah.
And it raises the question. Is all I'm saying. I'm not accusing.
We just caught a glimpse of the very southernmost point of the seawall here at Montrose. We look overhead at Herbot Racing, a 38-pounder with twin 525 Mercs.
Out of Marathon, Florida, correct?
They're all over.
Yeah.
They're all over the Keys. No, but yeah, we call them hometown boys for us that hail from the Florida Keys, from Race World Offshore. Their sponsorship of Rick's Key West on the canopy. All right, here come our lead boats in bracket class 400.
I think we might have missed Hartman when they came by in the lead, because Simmons just came by in second.
There's Hartman.
Looks like Miss Stress is third, and Burning Man is fourth. And here's Simmons, the 34-foot Phantom, the only open cockpit boat in the class.
Good luck at the Burning Man. Kyle Dietz and Chris McElway.
Yeah, they're out of they're not quite local, but they list themselves as Lake Michigan, so that's a pretty big area.
Side by side with Miss Stress. Now turning along the Chicago skyline here this afternoon.
Whoa. Yeah, X-Insurance Hartman just came out of the spectator fleet and back onto our screen. So I think they might have gone a little off course.
Again, the visuals here in Lake Michigan, in Chicago, pretty awesome. You see Navy Pier in the background.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel there.
Tonight, the replays of today's action and the big street party down on Navy Pier at the beer garden. Look at X-Insurance.
And now back with Miss Stress, and they're trying to chase down Burning Man. Burning Man, the only kind of its boat racing. 32 Speedster is a... Oh, and here we have the Pump It in bracket 500. They're running opposed, but it looks like the 700 race is coming up right behind them.
Try and get back to our leaders at 700. Get you a rundown of where they're at as we go overhead with the X-Insurance Telecam.
Back with Burning Man.
The Burning Man race team. Appreciate them putting Chicago on their race schedule after a big appearance in Michigan City, and they were our leaders in.
That's a good race in bracket 700. If we could get back up with the leaders, it looks like Blind River's in third. That's the Kluwat Cartel Blind River. But the battle up front looked like it was between Red Rum and Dirt Legal.
Dirt Legal's had a pretty dominant season this year. It's Connor Langheim on board, along with Brad Christensen.
Yep. Christopher.
Brad Christopher. Dirt Legal, Velocity.
And Dirt Legal is a company that will take your side-by-side or recreational vehicle and make it legal for the road. Oh, looks like Burning Man is down. So we'll have to see if they get going again here. And we're back with Miss Stress. And here's the younger guns, Owen and Nick, in the Cat 300 boat running unopposed.
We look at Simmons Marine.
Long history dating back to Factory 2 class for that boat.
From the X-Insurance Telecam, Miss Stress. Good look overhead. 1998 Phantom.
Is that a GoPro mount sticking up off the back?
The shot of Urbot.
Logging some seat time. Father and son going for a cruise.
Sun coming out here in Chicago. It's warmed up into the high 70s. Probably the warmest day that we've had since we've been here. Light east wind at 5 to 6 miles an hour. Those boats continue to battle. Heading back in here on the inbound leg.
If we could look just behind them, it looks like Hartman X Insurance has slowed. Well, maybe not. It looked like they had slowed, but now they
continue to lead.
Yeah.
Two laps into their 7-lap race. Live coverage of the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Here at X Insurance Sports on their YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and watch the great reels and the sizzle of offshore racing coming to you every week.
Now you will not see the bracket boats, the Cat 300 and the Mod Vs again tomorrow. Today's the only day they're racing.
Good shot of our boats with the X Insurance helicopter overhead.
I can't tell who that. It looks to me like it's the X Insurance Mod V, but with the glare, it's a little tough to pick out until they come by. Yeah, that's Nick and JJ, right?
Yep.
Whoa. Yep.
Got the nose up a little high there. There's Pump at our Class 500 team. Joey and Mike Dacey from Tampa, Florida, 29 Warlock.
California-built boat. Was a very popular boat in the old Factory 1 class when everyone ran a Mercury HP 500.
All right, back to Class 400. Looks like X Insurance continuing to have the lead. Is that correct?
Well, that was X Insurance.
Hartman.
Hartman. No, that was Statement X Insurance that just went by the lead, I think. I'm waiting to see. X Insurance TFR and Cat 300 is off plane, so this many classes on the course, it's a little tough to keep up sometimes.
Yeah, so the Hartman X Insurance team holding on to the unofficial lead. Here comes your leader in Class 700. It continues.
That's your third place boat.
Is that the third place boat?
Yeah, that's Blind River Bar. Yeah, this is
now
on the right. On the right is Dirt Legal, and on the left is Red Rum.
So Brad Christopher, Connor Langheim of the 22 Velocity, Dirt Legal has the lead in that boat running the Porte hydraulic transom bracket. Brad said it helps him especially in this rough water. Red Rum in second, and Blind River Bar is in third.
I don't know. Blind River might be up, but we'll have to see. It's all unofficial anyway until they read the cards. But this is a good shot of the Dirt Legal Velocity. Just enough bump to get a 22-foot boat out of shape a little bit here and there. But Connor Langheim's doing a good job running the throttles, keeping it level.
These are absolutely some of the most fun boats to watch in all of offshore racing.
Can't necessarily say you'd want to be in one, but they are fun to watch.
Or that you hope to stay in one.
Yeah.
When you got the bump. The stress onto the screen. So we're about 3 laps into the bracket class 400 race. We go overhead with the Blind River Bar. How about that? Dustin Kuwit.
Yep.
And
Brady Martine.
Yeah,
the Blind River Bar is only accessible by water down on the bayou in Louisiana.
And they are roaring right now at the Blind River Bar. They were watching the boys, and
yeah, we heard there's a watch party going on, so thank you for watching. Big supporters of the Tickfaw 200 run and getting their feet wet in offshore racing. Herbots are down.
Yeah. We'll watch one of our Class 700 boats fly. The Blind River Bar, that's
an activator.
Yep, the boat that actually won the World Championship for X Insurance in Class 700.
Yeah, and I think it's Chris is his first name.
Yes.
I guess he's made a few phone calls to Nick, asking some questions, getting the boat set up and learning.
Dustin Cluett and Brad Martine, the Blind River Bar. On the outbound leg, we get back on top with the X Insurance Helicam with the boys in bracket class 700 in the Blind River Bar.
And here's the, yeah, we're still with the Blind River Bar.
This is where
it's entertaining to watch.
Yes. So they're on the far east end of the course.
Making their turn where they'll come back towards us along the closer to the shoreline in this kind of giant amphitheater layout where there isn't a bad seat on the wall here. So if you want to watch the races tomorrow, come on down. Or this afternoon. We still got Pro Class 1 to go today, so
remind everybody that everything gets underway at noon tomorrow. Our Supercats and Pro Class 1 teams will be doing full races, 12 laps tomorrow. So from 12 to 3, you want to be here at Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park. There's Simmons Marine Racing. Got them holding on to second place right now.
Yep.
Get a lot of action for Dustin and Brad today on the live stream.
Those playing cards on the side of the outboard there, is that what that looks like?
Yeah.
I can't tell what that is, but yeah. Pretty cool little graphic on a motor cowling.
Another round at the Blind River Bar today. These guys, they're putting on a good show for us here in Chicago.
Well, we appreciate them making the trip. 22 Activator was a Long Island boat. There's a whole little cult following of these outboard powered rough water boats in Long Island. Activator, Superboat, Progression. Activator boats are now built under the Rage power boats, I believe. But here's the, I believe it's Dirt Legal on the right, and Red Rum giving chase on the left of the screen here.
Look at your overall leader in bracket class 400, the Hartman X Insurance team. John Isetti and Jerry Hartman in the Phantom Power with Big Block Chevy. Back to Dirt Legal, who's leading in 700.
Velocity has a long name dating back to when Steve Stepp had the company, and his famous pad V-bottom design that Scott McCormick is still producing to this day. Scott had hoped to have a better shootout turnout last week, but he had some problems with one of the boats he brought out. But the Dirt Legal team is running well.
Had some issues earlier, but got her back up and running. But looks like Burning Man down off plane again.
Yeah, tough afternoon for the guys. It's all part of it, though.
This is bracket class racing in the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Live coverage on YouTube, the X Insurance Sports page. Be sure to subscribe and watch all of the reels of action. A lot of stuff posted from over the years. Exciting action from last year at Supercat. We look at our leader in bracket class 400 once again. X Insurance Hartman Motorsports.
And that looks like X Insurance statement on the outside there, just kind of taking it easy.
Came down pretty hard there.
Let's see if they take exception to being passed by their teammate and then pick up the pace, but I doubt it. No reason to beat up the equipment. Whoa.
Great representation of an LSB Extreme there.
To the right on your screen, and to the left is a 30-foot Phantom designed by Will Smith from Sarasota, Florida. Phantom powerboats. These bracket classes have given the Phantoms kind of a new life the last few years. They were popular in the Mod V class when it was 525 Mercuries was the power of choice. More recently, the class has kind of moved towards the various generations of the extreme boats. And Britt Lilly's building those now with a lot of it. He got the molds from Steve Miklos from the El Bandito Tequila team, and they've all kind of worked together to keep the Extreme brand going.
Back to Cat 300 with the...
Well, that's still the bracket 400 boat.
I'm sorry,
there. Yeah.
Our monitor went out momentarily.
Yeah. I guess no one's telling them they have a big lead because they're still flying it pretty good. But some guys just like to run hard. They're having a good day. It feels good.
Canopy bracket 400. They're having a nice run here in Chicago.
Well, you talk to some guys and after the race, why were you running so far out front when you? And they're like, well, we were just kind of in a groove. We didn't know, and it just felt good, so we kept going at that same speed because it was comfortable. Back to the if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of approach.
Back on the inbound leg.
I've got that being the end of lap 5 coming up for them. You?
Yep. Nice run for Izzetti and Hartman here today in Chicago, turning onto the Chicago skyline. Around turns 4 and 5. Back to our leader in bracket class 700, dirt legal, with Brad Christopher and Connor Langheim.
I'm sure somewhere on the beach are Reese and Sarah Langheim of Jackhammer fame cheering on their son. Lots of multi-generational families out here racing. We've seen the guys in bracket 700 have worse rides this year. That doesn't look too bad.
A lot of air for Red Rum there.
Yeah, they're flying it pretty level. If you look at the stern of the boat, they've got the tabs down, so they're just trying to keep it level.
22 progression with Anthony Cruz driving, Robert Bernetsky.
I thought that was Dawson.
It was Dawson we did.
Yeah. we thought it was Derek. We'll find out for sure before we do results.
Derek Dawson is correct.
Yep.
Misprint on this page, apologies. So Derek Dawson, Robert Barnesi.
And Derek has a shop down in Lake of the Ozarks. He's helped out a lot of the guys through the years, and back with the X Insurance Hartman team. Should be coming around for their white flag lap.
Fun action. You see the air they get that thing set back down in the water. Throttle in is do a lot of work in these type of conditions, using the trim tabs and the power trim of the boat as they head to the turns, get that boat settled down. And coming into that wide turn on the east end and then trimming out.
Yep.
And picking back up on speed. Bracketed at 85 miles an hour. Follow them from the X Insurance Helicam once again. Special link to Rick Lindsay, Neil Mellis, who is filling in for Parker Lindsay inside the cockpit, getting our aerial shots here today.
Mess Stress is still out there running, we believe, in third place unofficially. We'll have to see if, haven't seen Simmons in a little bit, so they might be up to second in Mess Stress. But X Insurance getting the coverage because they're running out front.
What a day. Got the
Burning Man is
499 has a pump leak and taking on some water, and they're trying to get it out.
Trying to get back, trying to get back to the crane ASAP to get picked up.
Back to Class 700 there momentarily. Fans watching as the boat and helicopter from X Insurance cruise by, and we'll go back to our leader in Class 700 again, Dirt Legal.
They sit awful high in that boat.
They absolutely do. There's the shot from the helicam. You look back to the shoreline.
Yep. White flag lap. Just got to keep it together one more time around for 4.7 miles.
Yeah, we caution everyone, especially in bracketed class racing, you have to keep within your speed. Your V-Box chip will be turned in. GPS data
Yeah,
will be checked.
Miss Stress is up to second. I don't see the Simmons boat coming through, so persistence pays off. To finish first you must finish. Old saying in offshore powerboat racing.
So Miss Stress, the 1998 Phantom out of Fort Myers, Florida, Jimmy Wessel and Bruce Dudley.
I believe Bruce Dudley is from your neck of the woods.
Is he Keys?
I thought he was Key West.
So, share some stories at the corner pub. Then
Do enjoy going down there every November.
yeah, well, that's coming up then. The season of the World Powerboat Race Association. Big commitment of teams already scheduled for the Key West World Championships the first week of November. We'll be, of course, doing that live stream here on X Insurance Sports, also at Race World Offshore. Both our YouTube channels covering all the action.
It looks like the checkered flag is out on the Cigarette Pace boat, so this race will be wrapped up.
There's your winners.
Here's your winner.
Bracket Class 700, your Team Velocity Dirt Legal, Brad Christopher and Connor Langheim with the unofficial win here today.
And let's see if we can pick up the second place boat coming up here. Oh, that might be Blind River. It sure looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like
Blind River's in second.
Blind River Bar with Dustin Hewitt and Brad Martine in the activator.
Good for them.
Lake Pass, Louisiana. Toast to the Blind River Bar here today. With Derek Dawson and Robert Barnecki
Coming across in third by the, looks like they might be off the pace a little bit. No, I'm looking off screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just want to track this boat through as it comes through on its last lap. This stress still continuing to run in second place in bracket class 400.
If that is a GoPro mount, I don't believe the thing's. I can't believe the thing stays up there. And we've been just told that they're keeping it going here, folks. Pro Class 1 has been cleared to come out and mill, so we're going to be going right to the next race.
All right, we'll get ready to take another commercial break right here, and then come out and get this starting grid announced for you and set the final race of the day here. The first of 2 days of racing at the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Live coverage on YouTube at X Insurance Sports and also Race World Offshore. Be sure to subscribe to both channels. So we'll come back and get set our final start of this Saturday race in Chicago with the Pro Class 1 teams coming out right after this. I haven't seen one, so I just need a count back. What? I need a count back. Yeah, thank you, partner. And back here at the X Insurance Chicago Nationals, Todd and Eric here to call the final race of the day. There you see our biggest and fastest boats in the world, Pro Class 1. These are canopied catamarans up to 47 feet long with the Mercury 4-valve QC4V engine, the official engine of Pro Class 1, the quad cam 4-valve turbocharged engine. Two of those 1,100 horsepower engines in each of these. We look overhead of the two-time winner in Michigan City on back-to-back days, X Insurance. They had a rudder problem though earlier, Eric, and weren't able to qualify, so they'll be on the outside of the grid.
They're kind of a wild card right now. We don't know. It's one of those things where if they fix the rudder, they're still probably fast. It's just a matter of what do they have for our pole position, and can JJ Turk and Nick Buis take advantage of that pole position in the 48 MTI X Insurance North. They're in lane 1. Lane 2 is Tyler Miller, the Throttleman, Myrick Coyle, and the 438 Skater Monster Energy MCon. Lane 3, GC Racing MTI, the new 482 MTI with Throttleman Grant Bruggeman and owner-driver Willie Cabeza. And then lane 4, Bill Pyburn, Britt Lilly in the 47 Victory X Insurance South. So they're getting the boats out to trying to get them started, and we should have a heck of a race.
So you see them on the Chicago skyline. They're moving towards the south end of the inside of the course on the shore, moving down towards Navy Pier. And again, don't forget the party on Navy Pier tonight. Replay of action from today's X Insurance Chicago Nationals at Navy Pier, and everybody's going to be joining up the beer garden there. So they'll mill down in this area just off of turn number 5, get lined up and get started, and have the better part of a mile and a quarter to get to the outbound sweeping turn on the east end of the course, around 1, 2, and 3. 6 laps here. The first three-quarter lap is an official lap, so this start lap will count into those 6. Points will be combined over the 2 days. Tomorrow these boats will run 12 laps just like the Supercats. Equal points from the 2 days will be given, and the overall winner of this race in Chicago will be determined over a 2-day standing.
And with the Pro Class 1 boats, they use a little different starting procedure. All the other classes, they have a green flag on the pace boat. On the outer leg of the course for these boats, they have 2 green buoys, and that's where the pace boat will take them to, and then they start at the green buoys. So
top speeds of these boats are just in excess of 130 miles an hour. We will likely not see that today. There's enough of a bump that they've got to keep them controlled, and they certainly can span the waves in rough conditions.
A little bit of a breeze too that could blow across the bow, so you don't want to air them out too much and get crossed up.
These catamarans packing air down the tunnels. They're hydrodynamically designed to get lift and compression in those tunnels and lift as much of the boat out of the water while keeping it stuck just enough, reducing drag and getting maximum speed out of these Mercury 1100 comp engines, the QC4V. The maximum horsepower, 67 horsepower on these, 6,700 horsepower. And because they're turbocharged, there's a little bit of a turbo lag that some of the Supercat guys that have moved up, they have to learn to get used to that loading of those engines. They pack a lot of power.
As much as these guys would like to have 6,700 horsepower, I think you mean 1,100, and then 67 inches for the tunnel.
I meant 6,700 RPM.
Oh, okay.
6,700 RPM is the RPM limit, and
twin 1,100 horse Mercury Racing turbocharged engines. But you're right about the turbos. It's a little different feel. The guys will tell you they keep a very wary eye on the on the boost gauge, if they have boost gauges in the boat. Otherwise, it's on the screen that shows all the different functions of the engine, and they keep an eye on the RPM, and a little different approach, but they're all pros. There's no rookies in these boats throttling them.
As we mentioned, a combination of the number 6 drive boats, this 482 Marine Technologies boat and the MCOM boat. You're looking at both the number 6 stern drives. The X Insurance South boat that you see in the middle of the screen now is a shaft and rudder boat. So it's got the rudder on the back, which they were having some trouble with earlier, and hopefully they'll be able to turn that boat the way they did in Michigan City when they won back-to-back days. And quite interestingly enough, as Eric mentioned earlier, the X Insurance North boat, the green top canopy boat, is a combination of a fixed stern, of a fixed
Six drive,
number 6 drive with the skegs cut off. It's tremblable, but it's not steerable, but it has the rudder on back.
Yeah, and it's been a proven approach. We've, the boat ran as the Abu Dhabi boat over in Europe, in Class 1 over there, won a championship, as you said before, with John Tomlinson and Gary Ballou on board. We do have orange smoke, so we should be getting these boats lined up very quickly, and it's not going to take them long to complete 6 laps on this course.
So, final look at the starting grid in Pro Class 1. We're about to get set in 6 laps of racing. And our final start of the day here at the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. You're listening to live coverage from the Porte Products Broadcast Center. Porte Products, their hydraulic transom lift bracket allows boaters greater access to shallow water with their outboard engines and unparalleled navigation without the use of power trim. The Porte hydraulic bracket allows more of your propeller to work the shallow water without pushing your stern down and your bow up. Let them build one for you at PorteProducts.com. Boats, you see the orange smoke, that means they're set to get up and move on to plane. The X Insurance North boat will be in the number 1 starting position. They'll stay.
Yeah, I think we have a boat on the course, a spectator boat down near us, and that's what they're trying to get cleared right now. That flybridge boat right there, I think, needs to get out of the way. See, if you see that, the line of smaller buoys.
Yeah, so
they're supposed to get them on this side of the.
Eric's showing me from the broadcast position. So
that's what the holdup is right now.
Yeah, so we looked over. Yeah, they're deploying
multiple assets to try to clear the course.
U.S. Coast Guard and sweep boats are now trying to move this boat back. So we could be in just another five-minute delay or so here before this race gets started. Again, it's 4.97 mile laps, doing 6 laps, actually more like 5 3/4 laps here for Pro Class 1.
Yeah.
The boat's starting from turn 5 on the very south end of the inshore leg, and we'll start moving eastbound onto the outbound leg.
Yeah, now the Coast Guard is approaching the that flybridge. I think the people didn't want to move, and then the Coast Guard got involved, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we better move."
Something happens when the United States Coast Guard shows up and tells you to move, and you move.
I think when any flashing blue lights show up, things escalate a little bit.
That's happening off the screen, but we'll tell you right now that boat is moving rather swiftly, and we thank the United States Coast Guard for their help here in Chicago this weekend. Back in looking over our start boat, the red flag, getting ready to start our 4 Pro Class 1 teams here. Our final race of this Saturday. You're watching live on YouTube at X Insurance Sports. Be sure to subscribe to X Insurance Sports to catch all the latest reels of action on the offshore powerboat race scene.
Now they're getting them going.
The boats are in the lineup. This will be quick.
Yeah, they're not here to mess around and run at slow speeds, so.
Talking about veteran offshore race teams. And surprisingly, the rookies of the bunch, though, and they run up and down the classes before, Nick Buis, J.J. Turk, have the fastest lap in the inside lane. Yellow flag is still up. And we should have a start here momentarily. Other boats in the grid are trying to get up on the line.
Man, does it look, between Monster and GC, it looks pretty tight there. For a green flag is up.
All right, with green flag racing, final race start of the day.
Yeah.
And all four boats are very tightly matched. Looks like Monster's getting pinched a little bit.
Yeah, it's just let's see what happens.
No, there's still a lane for them.
Yep. X Insurance North is holding the inside, using the advantage of the pole position to have a slim advantage, but here comes X Insurance South in the farthest out lane. But they could also have the cleanest water because there's no one on their hip to the other side.
All these boats are trying to stay out of each other's, not only the rooster tails, which would be disastrous in terms of vision, but out of the dirty water. But it looks like GC Racing and Monster at some point are going to have to come across. And Monster has already done that, and GC has just come across. Now it's a battle between X Insurance South and X Insurance North. The North team has the inside line and the fastest way around the course as we head back on the inbound lane. But X Insurance South from the outside is making it a tough day.
Yep. I'm curious to see if there's going to be any closer looks at that start, because they still all the other classes it's just 2 boat length and you can go where you want, right?
Yeah, it's tough from the overhead angle we're looking at. It's tough to see. It definitely looked tight in there, but X Insurance South is making a pull on.
Yeah.
And they have a slight lead as we come through. So X Insurance South leading X Insurance North, but it's GC Racing and Monster Energy.
Barely, I had GC barely ahead of Monster, but
they're all close.
Yeah.
So we're underway. First of 6 laps to go. It's a battle at the front between X Insurance South and X Insurance North.
So you know who's winning here then?
At this point, X Insurance.
Rick Lindsay.
Yes.
And X Insurance. So
that's right.
He's sitting up in his helicopter, flying it and grinning ear to ear right now. And there's a look at the GC Racing MTI entry.
So that boat has shown great speed here early in the season. The 482 Marine Technologies hull with Willie DeBesa and Grant Bruggeman holding down third with Monster Energy right on their stern.
This is a pretty big step up for Willie, having run 2 years in factory stock, and now he's up in the big time. And he's holding his own.
This is a great shot of these boats as they came down the outbound leg. See them hopping on top of the water. They're packing that air down those tunnels, being pushed by the Mercury QC4V 1100 turbocharged engines. Back to the Monster Energy team, Tyler and Myrick.
Not where they want to be right now in fourth, but you know, they'll keep an eye on everybody, and if they get a chance to move up, and they're building a new boat at Skater, Douglas Marine in Michigan. This is the newest boat in the class, the 48-foot MTI.
Back to your leader, that's X Insurance South, Bill Piper and Brett Lilly in the 47 Victory hull with twin steps. If you get a look at the bottom of that boat, they have jagged edge steps. I haven't seen that on any other boat.
And that's a BPM boat with the BPM surface drives and the rudder. Britt Lilly has a lot of experience driving these boats. He drove the Husky Chocolate boat. He's driven
Action Insurance South through in first.
X Insurance North in second. GC holding third. And Monster is running fourth.
So X Insurance South with a 7-second lead over X Insurance North here.
What do you got for a speed? About
112. 119, 111.9 unofficially on the old trusty stopwatch. So no change on the grid with X Insurance South leading after 2 of 6 laps.
from the outside lane. So
it got tight in there on that. That turn number 1. All 4 teams still really in the hunt, and you got to keep this boat in the water.
Yep.
You got to turn the boat well. Any mistake can cause you to lose speed. Again, great shots as you watch the boats, air compressing down the tunnels, skipping on the water. Easily these boats in the 120 mile an hour range right now. And
on the straightaways, they're
right here. And now they're positioning to get to the apex of the turn on the eastbound leg. We got X Insurance North 7 back, and GC Racing 10 off the leader, and MCON 14 off the leader at the end of lap number 2. So all the boats within 14 of the lead as we look at the MTI GC Racing, Willie and Grant Bruggeman of Grant's Signature Racing in Bradenton, Florida.
And you look at that deck line of the MTIs, and that's aerodynamically designed. That the aerodynamics drove that. It's not just, hey, that looks cool. They did a lot of testing on that boat.
This is a 47 victory from the designs of the renowned
Michael Peters.
Yep. Out of the victory in Dubai, and they continue to lead in X Insurance South. Bill Pyburn jumping on a jet, seeing his son Jack play with LSU at Clemson later on this evening. They continue to lead.
Death Valley bragging rights between Clemson, but the bad news is the second place is now GC Racing, so I didn't see. Yep, X Insurance North is off plane at the far end of the course. Looks like they're on one engine.
GC Racing now in second.
MCON Monster Energy up to third.
GC 15 seconds to the stern of X Insurance South. MCON at 20 seconds off the lead. 3 laps to go.
And Nick and JJ will probably just try to get it back to the pits. Looks like they're running on 1.
Yiddish.
That's too bad.
After fun run in the turbine boat in Lake of the Ozarks and for JJ and
lane 1 today.
Lane 1 today for him and Nick Buis. And once again, look at the Pro Class 1s skipping across the waters of Lake Michigan. There's your leader on the left of the screen, X Insurance South. From the Dirty Money Race Team, Britt Lilly and Bill Pyburn back to the outgoing eastbound turn.
After winning Supercat in pretty convincing fashion, we'll see if that holds up.
Back on top with Willie and Grant. They moved up to second. They were 15 seconds off the pace. The boats that are in the 2-3 slots in the starting grid, they end up in that position at this point, just past the halfway mark of the race. 482 Marine Technologies Hall. with the Mercury QC4V 1100 turbocharged engines in Pro Class 1 running in second.
We want to send our best wishes to Taylor Sism of Marine Technologies. Hope she's doing well. But these guys they should be on cruise control right now, because they've got a commanding lead at the end of lap 4.
Still running at about 110 miles an hour per lap. Turn that lap at 2 minutes 40 seconds. GC Racing holding on to second. Two laps to go, and Monster Energy will hold third. GC right in there at 16, lost the second. Mimcon dropped 2 seconds back, 22 off the pace. These boats on their penultimate lap.
Getting a little light, just you can see him burning off fuel, but Grant keeping it level. Not letting anything get too crazy, because he knows he's got tomorrow.
Full 12 laps for the Pro Class 1 teams tomorrow.
So that'll take a little more strategy and planning to get the setup right, so it doesn't go away too early, but also so you're not giving away too much at the start because you're carrying all that extra fuel. So that's where the crew chiefs really come into play with the, they'll get with the throttleman and
back on that eastern outbound turn. That's a wide sweeping 3-pin turn. Goes X Insurance south.
And while we're talking about Class 1, we should say congratulations to longtime Class 1 throttleman Steve Curtis for his 242-mile-an-hour run at Lake of the Ozarks in the Dorana hybrid boat. That was impressive. If you hadn't seen that, go find it on YouTube.
Back on top with Myrick and Tyler. Mcon Racing, 2-time Supercat World Champion. Now focusing on the Pro Class 1 with the Monster Energy 438 skater. Hailing from Lake of the Ozarks. And Dirty Money out for the checkered flag lap. At the white flag.
Yep. One more round to go.
Turn that lap at 2:41 at 1:09.11. One lap to go. Could be 3 consecutive wins for Dirty Money.
Yeah, that could make the Clearwater race very interesting.
Beautiful shot overhead of Monster Energy. Tyler Miller of Mcon, an underground excavation company out of Wadena, Kansas. GC Racing 17 seconds off the lead now, dropping another second back, and Mcon doing the same, 23 seconds off the pace of X Insurance South. So they picked right up where they left off in Michigan City in Pro Class 1. Pyburn and Lilly.
Must have found a good rudder.
They must have. So losing that qualifying run didn't hurt them. They were able to carry speed on the outside and get enough room to challenge on the first lap with X Insurance South after that turn. Get in there and get past them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that X Insurance North doesn't have a spare drive.
On the back leg, both those boats losing another second to X Insurance South. So it's all over except crossing the finish line for X Insurance South. Their final turn around number 2 on the very north edge of this course.
You think Bill Pyburn's radio went ahead and warm up the jet?
I believe so.
Fallon, get it ready.
He'll be off to see son Jake from LSU in the senior season play against Clemson tonight.
I think it's at Clemson, isn't it?
It is at Clemson. And here they are, folks, for the final time here today. Don't forget, 12 laps tomorrow. Pro Class 1 teams will be back out here for the X Insurance Chicago Nationals once again on Sunday. We're racing from 12 to 3 right here again. But today, it was all X Insurance South once again for the third consecutive race.
Yeah.
And they win today. Averaging 109.73 unofficially, finishing the course in about a minute and a half faster than the Supercat did.
Wow.
X Insurance South. Here comes your second place finisher, Willie Cabeza, Grant Bruggerman of Grant Signature Racing in Bradenton, Florida, in the 482 Marine Technologies Hall. GC Racing, second place today here in Chicago. All these results unofficial. So these boats meet official tech.
In third place is Monster Energy MCon with Tyler Miller and Myrick Coyle.
Good run early for the X Insurance North team, but they had a drive issue.
Yep.
And see if they can get that repaired and get back out here tomorrow.
Hope so. They were having a good run.
Don't forget, tonight at Navy Pier, at the Beer Garden, you'll watch the giant replay of action from today's events. Join us out at Navy Pier. And, of course, tomorrow for more action from 12 to 3, join us right out here at Montrose Beach and at Lincoln Park, waterfront on Sunday. Big Labor Day weekend event, among other things that are going on here with beach volleyball and a run tomorrow. And for the second time, X Insurance will take the checkered flag, this time at Pro Class 1. There they are. Outstanding day of action just to get things started here, Eric Colby.
Yeah, that basically whetted the appetites for tomorrow. We'll see the factory stock boat run tomorrow with the Supercats, and I think the weather's going to hold for us, and we should have a really good day of racing.
So X Insurance South, your winner here, Pro Class 1 today.
Honestly, it's up to everyone else in Class 1 to pull themselves up to X Insurance South level at this point.
3 consecutive wins for them, dating back to the 2 wins in Michigan City. So they've definitely set the bar high for the rest of the Pro Class 1 teams.
This does not look dissimilar to last year when DeFalco was the dominant boat and doing the same thing with basically the same hull. So something about that 47 victory with the BPMs is a proven combination.
No doubt. Well, we appreciate you joining us here at the X Insurance Sports live stream on YouTube. Join us back here tomorrow for more action, as well as at Race World Offshore. Be sure to subscribe to the X Insurance Sports channel on YouTube for the amazing reels in action of all the offshore powerboat races. Special thanks to our first responders that participated. Of course, our RWO Safety and Rescue Team led by Sean Steiner and J.R. Anderson, as well as the U.S. Coast Guard, the Chicago PD, the Chicago Fire and EMS Team, Parks and Recreation, Harbor Master Gavin, especially thank you, sir, Natural Resources Police, the people of Chicago, and as well as our team here at X Insurance Sports, including Jake, Luke, Eric, Tristan, Neil, Parker, Steve, thank you so much for everything. And on behalf of super producer JW and Eric Colby.
Don't forget the guy in the helicopter, Rick.
And Rick Lindsay, who kept everything steady at the stick on the X Insurance helicopter. We'll be back with more action tomorrow right here at X Insurance Sports on YouTube. Live coverage of the Chicago Nationals. This is Todd saying so long until then. We'll see you at 12 on Sunday.